let's get scratching.
Let's look at the funk.
This is most disturbing.
Let's look at the
Don't understand what's going on here. Don't understand what's going on here.
Very nice, thank you.
That moment when you kiss someone and everything around you becomes hazy. And the only thing in focus is you and this person.
What if it's a rom-com, baby, we could get away. Be my Meg Ryan and I'll be your Tommy Hanks. I know people die young and your friends fade away, but I'm your Jackie, Matthew, Christensen, McConaughey. I could be the 10 days that you never wanna lose. Be the 10 things that they hate about you. It don't gotta be this way, just rewind and take back to the need you. View it from the top, anytime that you need to, babe. Jackie, 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 can't you see? You're the one I want, baby, you're my everything.
Oh, Nakathan Jakathan. Hello everyone, how's it going? We are here tonight. Damien, good to see you. Saving the work night. I hope to do so. Hope you're having an okay work night at least, but maybe we can make it a little more interesting. For sure. What's going on, GUB? What's going on, Gub? Time to watch Swole make Flame Wingman meta. Honestly, that's up there. We have a to-do list of things to do, and before the end of the year, of course, we have to at least get Flame Wingman into Diamond. That's gonna be fun. Daniel, what's poppin'? Hello, it's good to see you. You know, what's funny is that someone said last time, and I believe it may have been you, you know, I stream whenever DZ streams, and now I'm kind of finding out that might also just be true. Might be true in general. I got some ginger tea that I made here. That's partially why I'm a little bit late. Normally I'd be here a little bit earlier than exactly at the hour, but you know, we had to get on before Sykkuno went live because everyone's watching Sykkuno play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So, okay. Thank you for coming in a little bit early. You know the big stuff. Here's the funny thing. Particularly speaking, I had an epiphany. And I'll explain more of this a little bit later. But we are going to be doing a first for the Wheel of Normal Monsters. And that's going to be the super fun one that I cannot wait to show you guys. In addition to that, tonight would have been the Yu-Gi-Oh! Nuzlocke. I slightly probably could still do the Yu-Gi-Oh! Nuzlocke. I'd have to create the account from scratch, essentially, and we start from 0 and then go from there. That would be the other thing that we would be doing tonight. But I think we'll have our hands full with the Mystical Elf once again. So we'll see. Maybe next time. As well, some news, if you guys haven't seen it, I just posted it today, / on Twitter. New playmat. Isn't it pretty? I love it. This is the Midnight Dreams Neos, Rainbow Neos playmat. I've had my eye on this thing for a couple of years now. This thing is super, super nice. I maybe should have gotten the cloth one. Like, they have a cloth playmat, this is the rubber playmat. I probably either should have gotten the cloth one, and that would have been really, really cool. But this thing is super sick. Yeah, look at this thing. So, so cool. Wow. I love it. Definitely going to be taking this to tournament. I think this is my new tournament mat. My previous tournament mat, if you guys don't know, was the previous combo kitchen mat. And that thing has been treating me well. But this thing is pretty much what I'm going to have to do here today. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So many hero playmats. This is actually my first one. Surprisingly, I don't have many Yu-Gi-Oh! Playmats. I have my YCS ones. I have my 2019 World Championship one. I have the Rainbow Neos one here. I have my Combo Kitchen one. And then I have a few just generic ones. But yeah, what's going on, Steve? Hello. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. But yeah, this one's super sweet. I'm happy I was able to pick it up, and it's definitely a welcome addition to the collection. Well, we're going to have to pick up Neos for it, though. Crackling Mike, thank you, thank you. A lot of time. Hopefully that helps fix it. You know what's funny? So I invested in my computer a new graphics card. And that's the part that I thought I needed to fix. Don't get me wrong, the graphics card's sweet, and I do not regret it one bit. However, I literally have been having this microphone issue for about a year or two now. And on top of that, too, I strictly, when I record footage, I have to, like, turn off the microphone volume or the microphone, like, sound for some reason. It's actually ridiculous. So, you know, there's probably a workaround to that, and it's not invest in a graphics card, but invest inside of an actual audio setup. So, you know, we'll see. Okay. Let's open up Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Let's get our duel on. And then I'll go over what we're doing today and kind of the new deck that we've formed. Get the audio on Master Duel quite right. There we go. Perfect. Nice. Okay. So for context, the problem with... Well, let me rewind. A couple days ago, we were doing the Wheel of Normal Monsters, and we spun Mystical Elf. And I said to myself, how am I going to build a Mystical Elf deck? And it didn't go very well. We tried Invoked, we tried Spellbooks, we tried Stun. All three of these options to varying levels of success. And on top of that, probably some pretty bad deck choices on my part. Not very good, like, at all. We won maybe like 3, maybe 4 games the entire night, and we were streaming for like almost 4 hours. It was ridiculous. So instead, I turned off the stream, I sat around for a bit, and my mind was wrapped with Mystical Elf. How can I really make Mystical Elf viable? And so over the past couple of days, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel exclusively with a new Mystical Elf build. And out of the 8 games that I've played so far, I've won 7. My only loss was to Runic, which is pretty impressive, I think, especially for Mystical Elf. I only saved a few of the replays because I think they're actually like pretty notable. But my matchups, just in case you guys are wondering, I wrote them down because I had to make sure, was Suship, Dream Mirror, obviously that's a win. Branded Blue Eyes, Branded Shadal Invoked, Runic, Zombie Stun, Labyrinth, and Yosenju. So not the most competitive spread, so to speak. Maybe like 3 actual good competitive decks. 3 decks that are like in the mid tier, and then 2 just, you know, free wins. However, I was very surprised with the turnout. So without further ado, let me introduce you guys to Mystical Majestos. So this is the deck that I use to fix Mystical Elf. It is Mystical Majestos, and it's the deck that I took from last night. I was playing at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, I gotta make sure this works. Someone in chat suggested Majestos as a good engine, and at first I wrote it off because I was like, I don't know, man. This deck is like kind of just okay. It's not very good. And my TCG brain was like, it's not going to work out. Boy, was I wrong. So let's go run over the deck real quick. I'm just kind of explain some of the general concepts behind it and one of the reasons why it works out so well. So Mystical Elf, what do we know about Mystical Elf that actually will work for it? It's a light, vanilla, level 4 spellcaster monster with 800 attack, and something that every single person strives for, a booty. So, one of the OG defense position monsters, does not have a lot of places and a lot of decks it can actually fulfill in, except for specifically this one. And I learned this because every single one of the Majestos spellcaster monsters are generally some attribute, level 4, spellcaster monsters with something to do with level 4 spellcasters specifically. They have an XYZ monster, the Majestos Witch Wardrobe, that takes 2 spellcasters with different attributes. They also have this other one, Glass Goddess, with 2 level 4 spellcaster monsters. Then we have Zora, the Conflagrant Calamity. I'm going to be calling this card Calamity from now on. Spellcaster Tuner, 1 non-tuner, an 8 synchro, and also another 8 synchro. Plus, this one right here, Majestos Monster, Spellcaster Monster. 1 level 4 or lower Spellcaster Monster. You can see where I'm going with this. So, this deck specifically is super based. One of the things I found kind of interesting is the fact that one of the ways that Mystical Elf specifically helps the Majestos deck is that it helps you enable this play right here with the Wondrous Majestos Witch Wardrobe. Because it takes a different attribute, sometimes you need just an extra extender. So using things like Unexpected Die, and also something like Crowley to use Mystical Elf or even Rescue Rabbit to get into a Spellcaster level 4 monster can really help this deck out. Let me see if I can actually go to the duels. If I can't actually play the replays from when we won, then I'll show you guys the replays. So here is our match history real quick. I played, so right about here. So this is when I got offline, was right here, our last loss. And this one was to Granmaju and Zombie, if you guys don't remember that one. Unfortunate loss. But then I played 3 more with the new build and won. Lost to Runic, and then played 4 more and won. Which is absolutely crazy. Looks like we can't actually view any of these yet. So, okay, good. I saved a few of them. What's going on, Card Limits? Hello, hello. Meanwhile, I made Salomon Great and Labyrinth Rage Quit. Ooh, that's sick. That actually sounds pretty good. So here we are. I saved 3 of them. We want to kind of go over something, and I'm going to see what this one is here. Make sure. Okay, yeah. So I can use this one to kind of explain the general premise of the Majestos, and also where Mystical Elf falls in the Majestos lane. All right, so first things first, we are playing against the Shadal branded invoked deck and strategy. Kind of interesting. We're deciding to go first, and we're going to use the Vire, the Witchcrafter prototype, and they're going to Infinite Impermanence in this. Okay. This card allows us to search a spell or trap card. We would have actually gotten a monster born off this. But instead, now we're going to have fodder with Crowley. So Proto Alistair can discard spellcasters from the hand to special summon itself. So it's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to use this card, discard Mystical Elf, get this guy out. Now we have 2 of different attributes to go for the XYZ monster. XYZ detach and go for Zora. Zora's effect, going to attach the Link monster. And now its special effect activates, summoning a level 4 spellcaster monster and negating its effects. But hey, who needs effects when you got booty? You know what I'm saying? So Mystical Elf's on the board because we can special summon it back from the graveyard. Then use this card when it's attached to search for some follow-up, or if we need to, an extender. And then we have Calamity on board. Why has no one told me about this card yet? This card's insane. If this card is synchro summoned, you can equip 1 Magistos monster from your extra deck to this card. Your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with the same card type as a Magistos monster in your spell and trap zone. Excuse me? There was one game in particular that I actually locked out a player from all 4 deck types for the extra deck type. It was insane. So we're gonna go ahead and do the synchro one. And then we have the Link monster. So now they cannot activate the effects of synchros or links. On the ladder right now, this is my mistake. I should have gone for the fusions. Kind of okay, it does work out. I actually could have gone for Magistos Invocation even to summon out the fusion monster, which the fusion monster is just Snatch Steal, or you can equip it to your own guy to make your opponent locked out of fusions as well, which is crazy. Down with Yu-Gi-Oh! Boomers, no wait. What's going on, Newt Banner? Hello, good to have you here. So, he's locked out of Synchros, he's locked out of Link monsters. He's gonna Lightning Storm attack all face-up monsters. Actual gold gameplay. He's gonna draw, and he's gonna activate the Fallen of Abaz. So, once again, I got super, super lucky here, and I had the Imperm set. I can activate the Imperm, he's gonna scoop. However, I could have made Snatch Steal. What's going on, Judai? Hello, hello. Good to have you here. We're just kind of going over some plays. So there's the utility, at least far as the Mystical Elf is concerned. You can use it very effectively as a level 4 monster. Let's kind of go over it in this play. So this one is against Yosenju, which is not very competitive, but we did summon 3 Mystical Elves in one turn. It was crazy. Our hand was absolute garbage. So we'll see it here. All right, we draw a hand, and it's exactly this. Sending 2, and we're gonna go. Drawing here for Unexpected Die, absolutely beautiful. We're gonna activate Unexpected Die. We're gonna get out Mystical Elf. Rescue Rabbit for 2 Mystical Elves. Exactly correct. We have everyone's dream. Triple Mystical Elf. Absolutely beautiful. We're gonna use one of them to go for Magistos Maiden of the Moon. Then we're going to go for 2 for Glass Goddess. The reason why we're doing this specifically is because we can now enable the rest of our plays. Actually super, super cool. Go for Magistos Maiden, attach here, activate the effect of search. We're going to go for the Crowley. Then we're going to go for 2, detach, add the Magistos Elf. Going to go for Compulse. Compulse is fine. Compulse is fine. Because now we can use Crowley's effect. We can discard a Mystical Elf. And we just go for Battle Phase. There's actually literally nothing we can do here. We, again, got super lucky. We're going to set a card and we're going to pass. Their turn. Our Cellular Duster. Totally cool. We're going to set a card and pass. Now back to our turn. We have Zora. Luckiest top deck of our life. Go for Zora. Attach. Go for Zora. Revive the Mystical Elf. Then we're going to activate. Get the Renola. Can activate the Transmagistus to special summon from our hand. Renola's effect to get, he's going to Torrential Tribute us. Unfortunate. Again, we can sit and do nothing. So this is when we find out he's playing Yosenju. Now, he almost destroys us by playing Yosenju and does a lot of damage. And in fact, now he's gearing up for a big push, and we're going to die next turn if we don't kill him, which is unfortunate. Luckily, we know his entire hand. That back row can't be anything specific, so we're going to go for an Endymion, the Magistus. We'll activate Vitra, go for Zora, activate the effect, attach it, go here, use his effect on one attached to revive, activate the effect of Niru, get Compulse. Compulse is totally fine. because this effect is not there, because we haven't normal summoned yet. Or maybe we have. We haven't activated the Transmagistus yet. That's what it was. What's going on, Nick? Hello, hello. Good to see you. We're going to draw a card. We're going to put one back. Go for a Synchro. Go for 2 for a Rinola. Rinola in there. Detach a card. Go for another Rinola. Gonna go for Vitra. Gonna go for these 2. For Calamity. Calamity's effect. Attach the Fusion. Go this one. Attach the Synchro. Go this one. Attach the Link. Use the Link. Search a card. Go for Invocation. Go for 2. For Awa. Absolutely beautiful. And and there we go. Got an OTK. Easiest OTK we've ever had. What's the deck for today? No, actually, I did see the other message being like, only no heroes the deck for today. The deck for today is Mystical Magistos. It's actually so cool because Mystical Elf is playing a very useful part in the deck combos rather than being just a card in the deck. I'm actually saying. It's really funny to me because while I would love to say that Mystical Elf is a decent tech choice in Invoked or Spellbooks, or even can make a good control deck, it doesn't. But Daniel, you're exactly right. The thing that this deck does allow for, and what's kind of neat, is that it does everything this deck wants. It's an extender with Unexpected Die. It's a starter with Rescue Rabbit. And you can use it for your Synchro plays, for your Synchro 8, and use it for your XYZ plays. Or use it for your normal summon plays. It's really, really cool. I don't know. This deck seems pretty complicated for being ass. No, this deck is terrible. This deck did absolutely nothing in the TCG, but how I would put this is a really good roulette deck. Like if you've ever seen Master Roulette with DZeef and MBT, this deck is like specifically good on that series. Super good and limited, not very good everywhere else. It's really, really funny. But this card, and I've never seen this card before. This card, I don't know if it's new or what, but this card locks your opponent. They can't activate their effects of monsters from the extra deck. So if you start off with this guy and one other card, you can lock your opponent out of at least 1 or 2 different zones. And it's crazy. At one point in time, I locked my opponent out of XYZs, Links, Synchros, and Fusions. This is a nutty deck. And Mystical Elf plays a part. It's fun. Got a bad case of food poisoning yesterday with the fever and everything. Ooh, that sucks. I hate to hear that. Do you know what it was that you got the food poisoning from? I'm glad you're better, though. That's good. The Egyptian God card guy? Yeah, that guy. The Why Nobody Plays guy. This card... No, that's a different guy. So... yeah, this deck is not very interesting. Yeah, no fusion for branded. Exactly. That's also one of the biggest strengths, I think, for this deck right now, too. It's really funny. Yeah, what's the rare link I don't think I've seen before? This one right here is the Alistair the Invoker of Madness. It is a card that came out a couple of years ago, and it's not very useful or good, but we're in here playing it because technically you can add an invocation card to your hand, and this card, just this invocation, does technically count. So, kind of neat. You can do something with it, which is fun. But yeah. I mean, just this is legit one of the most fun decks, and the extenders are one of the only things they need to make myself more competent. That's what I'm saying. Also, what's going on, Brandon J? Hello. Good to have you here. No, it's super neat. Yeah, this deck is really cool. I slept on it, and I'm like, this is actually not that bad. It's got plays it can make. It's got plays. So we're hoping to essentially do a redo, a Salamangreat respinny with Magistos, with Elf. We actually ranked up. We're on a 4-game win streak with this deck. That's how I know that we have something here. So for the first time ever in the Wheel of Normal Monsters series, I'm calling an audible. We're doing a redo. We're getting back into it. Scrapping the other games that we had, those ones don't count. These are the real ones. Let's run it. Oh, biggest problem with this deck, though, it can't really go second. So, you know. Got a bad case of food poisoning yesterday. Did you type that twice? Oh my gosh. Ooh, this is not a good hand. Oof. Just try adding fire bear statue and wild toxic. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It is actually. Oh, come on, Runic. Our only loss was to Runic. We're gonna lose again. It's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, all the berry statues are bad. The only one that that are particularly good was wind and then water, because I think you can technically use those both the best. But there are still some fire decks that you can just play, you can run into, which is alright. But oh no, I did send. Yeah, I'm happy that you're feeling better though. By the way, do you know what you came down with? You know what it was? Maybe you can spin at the end of the stream, build a deck that you can play around with before the next stream. Ooh, yeah, be down. Oh my gosh, I hate Cardemise. All right, he has this one. I'm not gonna about to Cardemise. I absolutely hate the Runic deck. It's so in a best of one format, Runic is actually unbeatable. It's so bad. Yeah, what decks can go second nowadays? There are some that can do it, but frankly, like the ones that can are already the ones that can go first, so why not just go first? You know? But I mean, if you're forced to go second, that's the trick, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really a super big fan of whatever is going on here, but not against any of this. Let's see now. Okay, so we can go for Zora. And now I would go for Rescue Rabbit here, but we're going to go for Zora's effect. Target itself. We're going to attach the Link Monster, because the Link Monster is a search. But we can also activate its effect of Zora to special summon out the Ryla. Ryla's effect we can add to our hand a Magista Spell and Trap. Negated, that's fine. Why did I activate that? Why did I activate that? Oh, Lee. I could have summoned that off of the other thing. Totally fine. We'll go with Crowley? Maybe. Maybe add Crowley. I don't know. Yeah, Crowley seems okay. Crowley's an extender for next time, and it's totally fine. We have two cards back there. We should go for a Ryla, special summon out a card. Doesn't really do us much of that. Let's just go for a Zora. And we'll go face-up defense position. Easy peasy. Go for here. We'll go for fusion. And then we'll activate the effect of the Ryla in the Grave to attach the Link monsters. Now they can't activate Links, they can't activate fusions. We'll set 1. We'll set 2, and it'll pass. That's Magistus. Yeah, I've been main decking Cyclone and Artifact Lancia because of the Runic Plague. No, actually, Cyclone is insane in this format. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, do you think Runic will still be the best deck over Sprite pre-Shizu tiers? I think it's going to be included in Sprite. Like, people are going to play Runic Sprite all the time. The thing that I am most worried about, I think, when it comes to Runic in the future, is that Runic Stun is still going to be a very viable option, right? Oh, emergency teleport. Fascinating. What are we going to get here? Is this virtual world? Yeah, so I think like Runic Stun being at all viable should not be the case. Floodgates are way too powerful in best of one formats. Like, they have their place, but Metal Foes. Good thing we put our infinite impermanence in the imperm column. The really unfortunate part, though, is I think they do a lot more with fusions and Link monsters. That's good. That's good. Royal Rare Metal Foes Fusion. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. But a Shizu tier is going to be even crazier in Master Duel, and Sprite is going to be really fun, I think. I've always liked Sprite. They're actually kind of neat. But, you know, is what it is. Ah, a card that can beat over our guy. That makes sense. That's our one thing that we unfortunately do. That's okay. Also fine. Yeah. But Numeron's pretty rough. Numeron, oh yeah, Numeron's also really bad. They couldn't, no, they can't, it's not that they can't fusion summon, it's that they can't activate the effect of the fusion summon. Yeah, Sprite is simple, it's just pretty boring. It is super, super boring. But it's fun. It's fun. When do Sprites arrive in Master Duel? Like next year. It's gonna be a very long time before they can. Ah, very cool. Gonna go for a pen summon? Maybe. Ooh, perfect. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. I get to Imperm. And I get to target the Mythical Beast, which is there. See you. Yeah, I gotta love how Numeron can legitimately use Pot of Avarice and no one bats an eye. Isn't it crazy? Numeron is one of those decks that should never have been good in the first place, but it's, you know, obviously surprisingly good inside of Master Duel. Alright, well, we live, and they don't necessarily have a negation right now, which is even better. What's going on, Kilvin? Hello, hello. Good to see you. So wait, on the God cards, Megasin support, we really, really do have to get something good here. All right, let's see this one. Target 2 Metal Foes cards in your graveyard. Add 1 of the cards to your hand. Do I let's go through? Why not? Why not just do this one? Is that coffee? No, this one is specifically ginger tea. I need something for my throat. I wasn't feeling too super hot, you know. I'm excited for branded Bestial by the summer, hopefully. I kind of want that to be, because I'm kind of out of the meta currently. It's been a little while, so I'm hoping that we're gonna actually have something kind of fun here with the branded stuff. I need to get better at tier though. That's the one thing I'm learning. But I can't wait to get my reps in and for everyone to be like, actually, you know what? It wasn't that bad, because turns out when everyone has widely available areas to do things. Oh, he's still going. Amazing. Turns out when everyone has widely available support and widely available decks, it's a lot easier to get a better understanding of how the decks and the games actually function. You know, like people are like, oh, Sprite's broken. Oh, this card's insane. It's like, yeah, that probably is, but the counters and other things that we have into it can be really enjoyable. But, you know, right now, just like the cost is a big factor. The fact that you can only really play at high-level events. And that people at high-level events are going to be really, really good, you know? So it's definitely that. Have you seen or played the One Piece TCG? I have seen it, but I've not played it yet. Is it good? It's really good. Finish exams to go back to the gym? That's what I'm saying. Gotta get back to grinding. What's going on, Sebastian, by the way? Hello, hello. Good to see you. I saw you. So with my matchup against Tier Obelisk Quick Plays, breaking the God ruins their entirety. I think they're kind of an insane deck. Electromite. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm just like, our entire board was broken, and they're still going. And I hate Pendulum so much. And in theory, by the way, we actually, the only reason why we probably could have won this is if we put this into attack mode. But I was afraid of Lightning Storm, and that's fine. Who designed Bestial? What's wrong with them? The Bestials are actually really interesting because they allow for, like, they're just DD Crows that special summon themselves and gain effects, right? So when you think about it in terms of, like, card design, it really is just the next evolution of what would be considered, I don't know, like interruption, especially for this given meta. They've given us the tools, which would be the Bestials, to combat the meta at the very least. And I think that's what they kind of are intending with the Bestials for there. Yeah, tier is so much fun. It's more complicated than Dragon Link, and I'm here for it. I'm super down too. It's great. Yeah, if some of the cards are rare or at least booster boxes. Nice seeing you stream again. Well, nice seeing you here as well. What does Magistus do? No, nothing. Magistus does whatever the... What in tarnation? What in tarnation is this? I've never seen this card before in my life. Does this guy hack a card into Yu-Gi-Oh? What the hell? What happened to the Metalfoes deck? Why is it just generic Pendulum now? It's just because it's better with the actual like Pendulum Magician stuff. It's just bad. I don't know. It's from the new Duel Links box. I don't know. I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Off and on for 20 years and learned complicated decks, but I still can't comprehend how to pilot pendulums right. It's so funky, man. So I recently dove into pendulums because of Valance. And Valance is super weird. Like super weird. And so I would love to say that like it was honestly the most complicated thing I've ever played in a while. All right, so by the way, we know that the card set, right? Yeah, the card set we know is maybe the card he drew. Oh, let's go! Very cool. All right. We're going to have to go for Crowley here. Discarding Mystical Elf. I think we only have to contend with one negation, which is okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Because now we can Zeus them, I believe. I think the back row is nothing, so once we get to like a Zeus, I think we're okay. But yeah, that kind of works. All right, Rescue Rabbit to the rescue. It was a Full Metal Foes fusion, so they did draw it off the top. Why is the pendulum the bad mechanic? Pendulums are overly complicated in terms of how they work, and they don't really function on the same wavelength as other parts of the game. Like even cards. Oh, this gave him 2. I guess we're going for it. Even cards like Link Monsters still kind of function in the same way, like where they have specific zones to be placed. Is like kind of the only way they work, right? And they have specific summoning conditions. Pendulums are neat though, because they summon a bunch and then they gain advantage back by special summoning themselves from the extra deck face up in attack position. It used to be that you could summon them anywhere from the extra deck. So, you know, you play your whole hand of 5, Penge summon for 5, and you have a whole hand of 5. It's this really crazy type of advantage engine that these things have. Now, the only complicated parts about these is that they have specific effects when they're pendulum monsters and also have their scales. But once you get that down, it's not that hard. It's just the fact that, like, the plays are not always super intuitive. Some of the pendulum monsters and some of the pendulum cards lock you out. In addition to that, pendulum cards have, like, you kind of can brick pretty heavily because you do have to play enough high scales and low scales. So there is an inherent, like, brick there that you have. On top of that, the fact that up until Electromite, pendulums weren't that good up until Electromite. Now, pre-Link Monsters, pendulums were really frustrating to play against. I mean, like Pepe, or even there's one other before that I'm forgetting that are also pretty decent. Pendulum Magician a little bit after that. Both very, very powerful. But if it's not those two decks specifically, it's sometimes very hard for pendulum monsters to even be considered to be good, right? Klee, that's the other one. It's Klee. Yeah, so Kleeforts, Pepe, and Pendulum Magicians are like the strongest 3, but they are super good. They're actually insane. But yeah, Synchro Summons is what I find when I first came out in the game, but anything after Synchro I stopped caring about. Are traps still needed in modern Yu-Gi-Oh? They are, but they're not necessarily like traps in the traditional sense. Things like evenly matched or infinite impermanence are very strong for various reasons. And those are probably the ones that are going to be the best ones. There's also certain trap-based decks and strategies like Labyrinth, Track Trick, and Paleos. But generic traps don't necessarily have a lot of things they can do. Oh, hey. Well, our hand is not super good. I guess we're going to go for a Rescue Rabbit play. I guess we're going for Rescue Rabbit. Maybe we should have added Baguska just in case we came across this. I don't know. Got prescription glasses for the first time last year. Ooh. I'm going to have to go Maxi on this one. The ooh was not for your glasses. It was for Maxi. And apparently I'm nearsighted and farsighted with astigmatism. Oh, hey. That's interesting. I believe I have astigmatism as well. I kind of just stopped wearing my glasses after a certain time because they make my face break out. But isn't it strange, right, that you put on the glasses for the first time and you're like, whoa, this is how everyone sees? It's kind of nuts, right? You don't really notice it until you actually have someone check it out. And the unfortunate part about like your eyesight, especially at this point that you have the stigmatism, is that it's going to keep on like getting worse progressively. But it's super crazy. Yeah, what's going on, Hypergravity Wave? Hello. It's an online EDH game. I was on your own one. Oh, let's go! That's sick. Hello. Glad to have you here. Wait, how dare you name trap decks and not include the Golden Lord? I hate Eldlik so much. Eldlik is neat. Like, Eldlik at a certain point in time in my life, I would have said is probably one of the coolest little decks that gains advantage. And clearly Konami likes Eldlik too. Like, I have a theory that things like Sky Strikers, Eldlik, even Adamancipator, and other Influendaries more recently, that Konami has certain decks that they think to themselves, man, I really think this deck is not broken. And I don't understand why players think this is the best deck of all time. This deck is not that good. And so they refuse to hit them on the ban list. And it's insane. Also, unexpected die. Let's do it. For now, we can summon Mystical Elf. The big booty defense position. All right, so now it's actually quite interesting. We can actually go for the Artemis, the Magistus Moon Maiden. Because if we do, which we still might, we'll activate Crowley's effect here. Crowley's effect, we're going to send... We'll send another Crowley to the graveyard. We'll special summon Crowley. We're going to go for maybe a normal summon here is not that bad. Because I don't know if I can add any... I can add one to hand, but why not go for this? And then that card equips... No. We're good. We'll go ahead and save our normal summon. We're going to go for Raula. Easy peasy. People only hate Eldlik because of floodgates. That's true. The actual floodgate stuff and facilitating that is kind of a problem. But, you know, is what it is. We'll detach. We'll special summon out Zorora. Easiest peasiest. Okay. Zorora's effect. Kind of nice. We'll select this guy. Doesn't really matter all too much. And we're going to go for Adius. The Moon Maiden activates effect. We're going to special summon back from the graveyard Mystical Elf, the biggest booty. So now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go and activate the effect of Artemis. Artemis effects here are going to search for the Renola or Endymion. Renola gets us a search, which means we can go into the Magistus Invocation. This guy guarantees we lock them out of a few different... I'm going to go for the Renola. So we're going to go for Renola's on the effect. We're going to activate the effect. We're going to special summon and get ourselves a Invocation. Now, we're going to Synchro for 8? Yeah, Synchro for 8 for the Magistus Calamity. Now, if I'm playing my cards right here, I can send this into an attack position. I made that mistake before. I'm going to activate this guy's effect. I'm going to attach the Synchro Summon guy to him. I'm then going to go for Crowley's effect, banish itself, target, and lock him out of effects from Link monsters. But that's not all. I'm then going to activate the Magistus Invocation. We're going to fuse together for AWA, and going to go for the defense position AWA, the Spell Spirit. But that's not all. And then we're going to activate the Renola's effect in the graveyard to attach the XYZ to the guy. So now, easy peasy. Okay, so to explain what happened, and not only how we had to weave Mystical Elf into the deck, on the board, AWA is a attack. Or sorry, AWA is a Snatch Steal, or if I equip this card to my Calamity, I can negate effects from my opponents. Because Calamity says they cannot activate effects from extra deck monsters that are now, currently, XYZs, Synchros, and Link monsters and Synchros. What am I doing? They can't activate the effects of XYZs, Links, and Synchros. And if I choose to, if I don't use the Snatch Steal effect here, I can use AWA to lock them out of fusions as well. So we'll see. There's also secondary effects, but we'll go with that. All because Mystical Elf is actually just goated with the sauce. Insane. I love it. Wait. And now watch your opponent be on Eldlik and not care. Hey! No, it'll be fine, Copium. It's fine. He's not on Labyrinth. He's not on Eldlik. He's not on Runic. Those are the three things that we're hoping for. Anyway, Kaiju. Hey, listen. It's not there. I would say it's perfect, perfectly fine. We're perfectly fine. Are you that infomercial guy? And that's not all. Hey guys, Billy Mays here with Yu-Gi-Oh! Rest in peace, Billy Mays. Oh, Allure of Darkness. Is it branded? I'll see right here. It is! Perfect. Okay. Well, now I know specifically what I can do. Easy peasy. All I needed him to do? Oh, he's not activating the effect. That's a little crazy. I guess I can just take this? He's got Super Poly. That's the only reason why he would make that play. No, he would not. Perfect. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. So just so we're all perfectly clear, it wasn't option A that he's playing a trap deck. It wasn't option B that he had kaijus. Unfortunately, and like always, the answer is always C, super polymerization. God, knew it. God dang. Absolute. I did all this work. I knew as soon as he didn't activate the effect that he had super poly. I absolutely. Well, there you go. He's actually thinking about it. No, it's not like this. No. I just got done explaining how cool my deck is. Ah, man, come on. Just draw better, lol. True. True. Just want to clarify, our opponent was locked out of fusion effects, link effects, synchro effects, and XYZ effects. But hey, I just didn't want it enough. He just had the super poly. It just... My deck's cooler. Absolutely insane. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely insane. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Has anyone seen that Farfa video where he's playing that the insane Rose Dragon Tenny deck and dares his opponent to break his board? No. Haven't seen those. Sounds pretty good though. Time to start main decking anti-spell fragrance. Ooh. Now that seems like it'd be the play. Interesting. Spell speed 4 is such a stupid game mechanic. True. So yeah, spell speed 4 is essentially it's I don't even know if it's a non-technical term, right? Because, or if it's not a real term. In theory, the spell speeds are kind of determinant of like when and how you can respond to things. Spell speed 4 is technically the fastest spell speed because you cannot actually activate anything in response to it. So counter traps, super poly, forbidden droplets under certain conditions, and otherwise, you know. Yeah, draw super poly, Albaz, and branded fusion without any search. That's absolutely insane. Can you believe that their fix for this is limiting a looper? It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'll have to practice cello. I'll be back. Hey, good luck with the cello, and hopefully it sounds really, really good. Good luck, and no worries, we'll be here. Probably losing still, but it's fine. Ooh. Our deck is actually kind of insane. Yeah. Yeah, wow, our deck is actually kind of cracked here. Okay, so hopefully, so we know he has... we'll just go for it. We know he has Max C, and I hate the fact that we didn't draw anything from Max C, but it's... Oh, no Max C. So we have Mystical Elf, which is kind of crazy. We'll go for Zora here. Zora's effect activates. We're gonna take him. We're gonna get the Link monster. This is just the same stuff we went through last time. Do I want to activate this yet? No. We're fine. We're gonna activate the Artemis. We're gonna get Crowley. Because Crowley's an extender. Yeah, we'll get Crowley for the extension, which is fine. Because now we're going to go for Crowley's effect. We're going to discard our Mystical Elf from our hand. Go for Crowley. This is cracked. This is absolutely insane. Absolutely mental, bro. We're going to use these two for the wardrobe. Let's go. Let's go. Use this Crowley? Yeah. For the spell, we'll use the spell to grab Transmagistos, and then we'll go for Zora. Let him cook, I'm saying. And the Zora in attack position. Yes. 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 We are cooking. Synchros. We're into the synchros. We'll activate the effect of Crowley. Crowley now. We'll target this guy. We'll make the Magistus Maiden. Absolutely perfect. We'll activate the Magistus Vitra to special summon back the Zora. Maybe I should have added Zora for next turn, actually. But that's totally fine. We'll activate the Magistus Invocation. We'll fuse for Awa. And then we'll activate the effect of the Granola. Right, the granola bar to attach this. Then we're going to activate the Transmagistus. So we're back to where we were. Okay, so our opponent now is no longer able to activate, thanks to the Calamity's effect, the effects of XYZs, Links, and Synchros, and we have a Snatch Steal, and when this thing becomes Snatch Steal, they can no longer activate fusions. Or I can just attach it to my own guy and it gains 1,000, and he can't activate fusions. Transmagistus, or Trismegistus, allows these cards to not be destroyed once by battle. End phase. All right, have fun. Now, should I have searched another Vitra? Yes, I definitely should have. The funny thing is with Super Poly, how weak it was on launch, and now it's one of the best cards in the game. It's actually crazy. I mean, it's always been good, but the problem is that it didn't have, like all cards in Yu-Gi-Oh's, like, certain cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are just bad on release because the amount of applications are so small. But as the game gets wider and wider, and because we don't have set rotation, these cards from a long time ago that are probably really powerful and extremely problematic can get very, very, very powerful very quickly. Ooh, Mech Lord. All right, Mech Lord. Should be all right. I like Sword Soul, but Protoss is cringe. Protoss is cringe. Sword Soul is based. I can agree with that. Yeah, I'm saying. We need kill. We definitely need to kill Block Dragon for sure, though. Choice ban to fix Sword Soul is long 1 to 2 rather than ban Protoss. It's actually just insane. Branded Fusion to 2. I don't think. I don't know. Branded Fusion to 2. It's just so strong, even at that. I mean, it's really good, but you know, it's there. Better targets for a card search or Super Poly. That's also fair. Yeah, Witch Zora was also stopped them from summoning like the card type as well. Although it might be too strong. That would be actually broken. This deck would be insane if that was the case. I would like it a lot. And to be fair, you could technically just imperm or do something with it. But essentially locking you out of your extra deck almost entirely, it's possible. It actually would be very strong, but you know. It's definitely there. Konami loves making semi-generic fusions, and they have powerful spells, so it's a little stupid. So fair. Yeah, what you mean, Jedi Imperm is in the deck? It's true. Yeah, we have Imperm, we have Solemn Strike, we have Solemn Judgment. I probably need to take out both of those for Imperm, because Imperm's a spellcaster that I can discard off Crowley. And I honestly haven't gotten a whole lot of use out of those, but it's there. Yeah, no, we have no solution for main deck. That's correct. If this guy allowed, like, for example, because it only says Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, or Link, that's actually kind of neat, right? But because we are technically able to attach these guys in some capacity, so, you know, it's there. Just realize this is a worse Buster Lock. Didn't have to... yeah, but... Imperm. Look at that. Nice. Mechlord is an anti-synchro strategy. That's unfortunate. Okay, so we can activate the Artemis effect. We'll get Zora. Yeah, Zora's pretty good. I think this is fine because we can actually special summon the stuff from the grave, which is fine. Yo, what's going on, Farlord Azula? Hello, hello. It's nice to see you. It's been a minute. I'm saying. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go for this. The Magistus will activate the Magistus Flame. We'll target this guy. Target his own, which is great. And then we'll go for this, which is Spell and Trap removal. We'll activate the effect of Zora. Because now, by the way, we can summon Mystical Elf. Seems pretty cool. All right, we will activate the effect of this guy. Will destroy the Transmagistus. Will destroy one of the back row. It was Invocation. Oh, invoked Mechlord. Fascinating. Okay. Well, that seems totally fine. So now... Oh, interesting. You know what we can do, in theory, is we can go for the Invocation of Madness. Discard a card, which would be Imperm. Go for another Awa, which would be kind of fun. Though I think I'm just going to go for another Renola, right? Renola to summon for the guy. Yeah. That seems fun. What deck are you playing? We are on the Wheel of Normal Monsters, but we're doing a redo. Hello? Are we back? F's in chat. Nope, we're back, I think. Maybe? My OBS is disconnected for a split second. Okay, cool. Now we're back. All right. Woo! Thank God. Yeah, so anyways, we're back. Blah, 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 blah. We're on the Wheel Normal Monsters. Because... And we were trying to make Mystical Elf a deck and make Mystical Elf work. But before, not quite possible. But now, very possible. I think I'm going to go for this one. Maybe. I can go for another rank 4. I'll go for the Synchro. Probably should some of that in the top banners, but that's fine. All right, battle phase. We'll poke in for 25. Ah, interesting. By battling, target one face-up spell and trap on the field, destroy it. Okay, which one would you like to destroy? Imagine if this guy could activate during the battle, during the battle phase. That'd be insane. Yes. Good thing Vitra protects it, which is nice. All right, go for 2,000. Go for 29. And then a big stack. Absolute big stack. Sorry, I'm late. Was taking the kids to some grub. No problem, McMunchin. What's poppin'? Hello. Is there any protection against Mirror Force? Mirror Force. Well, now you mention it, no. No, Magistus can't, like, they just look really cool and they do really cool things. They just can't really do much, unfortunately. So, yeah, okay. Anyways, long story short, Firelord Azula, if you're still here and still kicking. Mystical Elf was spun on the Wheel Normal Monsters, and we were trying to make it a good deck. The last couple times, we... Well, you know... Interesting. Harpy's Feather Duster might work, but the good thing we had 2 Vitrums. But the last couple times we tried to play Mystical Elf, it didn't work out. But then I had a stroke of inspiration, and partially thanks to you guys for suggesting Magistos. This deck is absolutely perfect for Mystical Elf. It's been crazy all night, and it's actually good as a combo piece in this deck. Like, look at this. This is insane. We have Snatch Steal. We've got a guy that locks out cards. We've got destroys every card in the field if this card's destroyed. This guy... You know, Witch Wardrobe, which is neat. Special summons cards. I think it's pretty cool. Okay. Mech Lord Army Deploy. Alright, I'm gonna go for the for my equip spell. I'm gonna go Snatch Steal here. I knew it was Imperm! Pretty easy access to Zeus too, exactly. Yeah. Varam, this the bird texture. I knew it was Imperm. I was gonna activate my Imperm. Wow. Absolutely crazy. If we lose this, if we lose to Mech Lord, can you imagine? Absolutely insane. Yeah, pretty easy to Zeus is really good. But yeah, a deck is all... yeah, this is... I like this. This is actually... It's kind of fun. What era is Boomer? It depends, honestly. Like, actual era? Anytime before 2017, apparently. But... for me, personally, I've been playing since the game came out. But I'm also, you know, quite young. Uh-huh. Are you building Math Mech when it comes out? Of course. I love Math Mech. Give me Circular, please. Do you have Borreload in this deck? I don't have Borreload in this deck. I probably could, though. Yeah, Borreload might be the best since Justice Zora is the boss monster. Yeah. This is a really cool card, by the way. Which card is he going to target? Do you think? Is it his own card? All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. Is it Protoss? No. Oh, it's his version of Protoss. Interesting. Once per turn. Oh, quite fascinating. Very, very cool. Well-equipped monster with the synchro. Very interesting. Equip one monster from it. And I have exactly one synchro left. Up to 3 attacks on monster. Well, G. What'd you think? What? You think I just didn't have a plan for that? You think I didn't have a plan for Mech Knights today? That's correct. Literal hydrogen bomb versus actual coughing baby, though. That was not, you know, Mech Lord versus Magistus. Interesting. Yeah, 5Ds is end of the Boomer era. Yeah, probably. Because that's like also, I think when there's a certain feel of anime, like going by the anime eras. And 5Ds might be the end of like what we would consider to be like yeah, most people aged out of like Yu-Gi-Oh at that point, right? Aged out of, probably got into be like their high school to like college age at that point. Someone would say GX. I mean, I was a GX kid, GX boomer. Again, no, actually, I was a Duel Monsters boomer. What am I kidding? Yeah, confusing Mech Knights and Mech Lords makes me Mech Knight player feel really bad about my deck. Did I confuse Mech Knights? Did I say Mech Knights? Did I say Mech Lords? I don't know. No one reads Avaram or Varam. Yeah, all the cards in this deck are actually really nuts. To kind of quickly go over some of the cards here, because obviously our Mystical Elf deck has much more cards in it. Awog gives attack boosting. This guy protects from spells and traps, and also destroys, has battle protection. And this one can attack twice, can also destroy spells and traps. This one special summons from the deck and then also negates effects of monsters. This one's a searcher. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Dual Kingdom to 5Ds, and then you're perfect. That's your boy as well. Yeah, 5Ds is when Yu-Gi-Oh! Finally started to be good and separate itself from the slow magic resource type of gameplay because it's its own thing. I wouldn't really call it boomer. Yeah, it's funny because I think looking back on it, GX is, and unfortunately, obviously one of like the worst, one of the worst versions of like Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, right? It's definitely the one that has like the least amount of impact. It's one of the ones that has one of the least amount of like things you can do in it. Like the progression series has taught us anything, it's definitely that, right? So I don't know. Ah, fascinating. Dinomorphia. All right, so a little bit of a better deck, which is great. All right, let's hopefully no Waken the Dragon, inshallah. Crowley. Ooh, we don't even need to search it. All right, we have actually full combo here. It's just these three. These three is lockout of the extra deck, like free. All right. If it's not a scoop from this Harpies, it's not. Oh. Okay. Now we're gonna have a problem. Take no battle damage from that battle. That's fine. All right, we'll put down. He's gonna have to get pretty low. I mean, it's not gonna be that hard, but we'll see. We'll see. After the new every new extra mechanic, there's always a group saying Yu-Gi-Oh is ruined. Yeah, like okay, I remember when Link Monsters came out. I was super interested in Link Monsters. I was like, man, Link Monsters are pretty neat. And I loved playing with the Link Monsters. They were super cool. I don't know why. Like, obviously, people have like problems with the Links and Link Monsters, right? But it's not like it's not like it's usually the end of the world when that happens. I'm gonna go with Crowley. By the way, all my effects line up with going underneath their things, which is pretty great. Yeah, until I learn the new stuff. That's the yeah, exactly. I agree. All right, we'll go for Renoula. Under 2k at the moment, which is really funny. They have your life points. The attack of all our opponent's monster becomes equal to your life points until the end of this turn. That's fine. Special on 1 level 4 spellcaster from your hand. Don't mind if I do. Effect. Search Magistus. I might go for Vitra. That seems like the best one here. And then we're going to go into a... we're actually going to go for the rank. So we're going to go for the rank 4 here. Seems like the best one. Yeah. Yeah, Link Monsters brought me back. There's a reason I don't understand pendulums. I mean, I skipped pendulums myself, like in terms of like my knowledge gap for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I came back with Link Monsters and I don't regret it. It was actually the best way for me to learn both, like, I was like, that's a lie. I came back pre-Link Monsters, but I really came back Link Monsters. I'm gonna go for Crowley. Yeah, Crowley's effect's good. I probably could have summoned the fusion, and that way I locked them out of fusions while also staying under their life points. That's kind of a big one. That's okay. We'll go here. And then came back during XYZ summoning. Call by for the Crowley? Okay, interesting. Okay, what does this one say? If this... Okay, so... Until the end of this turn, if the card is destroyed by battle or card effect... Right. I can activate effects if they are greater than or equal to my attack. Fascinating. So I maybe should have activated... I should have maybe gone for the actual Snatch Steal. That's fine, right? Like, that'll be okay, right? Let's see. I might actually need to go for... I actually might need to go... Agnes destroyed by battle. No, I can't. It's 29. Were you playing when you made Pokemon content? Yeah, a little bit. I played a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was playing Pokemon. It was like getting back into the game very casually when I was making Pokemon content. But then I think I took a break and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just try for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I was getting much more into the card game at that point. I think I have to destroy myself with Varam here. I think I have to do it this way. Yeah. I think I have to do it this way. Go battle phase. And then go here. Kill myself. Activate the effect. Destroy that. And then go that way, and that's fine. which that really sucks because I shouldn't have activated the Zora. I mean, probably could have, but that's okay. 500 attack, by the way. 500 attack and defense. Main phase 2. We'll go Zora, the Ramen attack. We already did. Oh, you meant like the Zora in and then activate the effect of the spell and trap. Yeah, that would actually probably been a little better. We don't have anything to... Actually, no, we could have the Endymions in the graveyard. Yep. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Yeah, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? We're not quite dead yet. If he's able to kill us in some point in time, then I think he's got this, but we'll leave it here. Remember to the fog can be stuck to Pokemon? I mean, kind of saying, by the way. I did have an idea of sticking to the Pokemon card game / like more traditional Pokemon Pokemon videos, because Pokemon videos are super easy to make. They're crazy easy to make. It's hilarious, by the way. Ash catching video nowadays, I mean, it's all you gotta do. It's nuts. Playset Sales Band came in for 500 Dragon Link. Oh, that's a deck that I still need to play, by the way, for sure. But yeah, so my entire like journey getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh was kind of as follows. I started playing, I've been playing since the game's like inception back in 2002. Took a break around 2010, and then I took a break until 2016, where I was getting back into the game with with Totally Awesome Heroes. Then after Totally Awesome Heroes, I started playing with XYZs and Totally Awesome Heroes. I started playing Totally Awesome Heroes, had the XYZs. I started playing more with pendulums and other synchro decks. I kind of just learned the game very, very randomly in spurts, and it was really fun. I liked it a lot. We'll go with Zora? Sure. Did you ever play Dragon Ruler Era? I did. I did play Dragon Ruler Era. And it was I was really bad at it. I tried playing Dragon Ruler for a little bit, and it was not very fun. I actually played Metal Foes as well, like a little bit of Metal Foes, even though I think that's like 2015 time period. But all right, awesome. Oh wow, like totally freaked me out. I think we need to go for... I mean, we can obviously go for Magistus Invocation. I think we still might. So we're going to go for Rylabloom here. And target the monster I control. Now, I could go for a Search, and that'd be kind of fun. Alternatively, I kind of want to go for Varam here. Right? And Varam seems pretty good. Go for Mystical Elf. Magistus Invocation. Special summon. Get a monster. Get a Search. I'm trying to think of that back row. Like, what's the back row? Like, maybe not. I'll just go for Battle Phase here. Go for the 20... That's fine. He doesn't read! It's okay, I don't read either. During the main phase, that's fine. All right, we'll go for Zora. We'll attach itself onto something. 125. Can I just burn him for a buck quarter? Can I just burn him for $1? Can I just give him 25 cents? Oh my god, he's still 63! 63! No. 63. 63. Should play Cowboy. Honestly, though, I'm kind of saying Stealth Bergia. Very cool. Doesn't really matter to me too much. All right, we'll go for the Moon Maiden. Awesome. Oh, wow. He's got the... I think he's got a fusion left. And I'm going to go for... I will be going for the Endymion guy. I'm going to activate this effect for Artemis. He ran out of big dinos. That's what I'm saying. 63 life points is quite cracked, by the way. All right, we'll go for Tris Magistus. We'll special summon one from our hand. It's going to be the Rylabloom. Yeah, 39-37 attack on that, on the Dino Mom. Ain't that something? All right, we'll get Vitra. Okay, all right. 60 seconds. Okay. We are gonna have to go for this guy now, I think. Which kind of sucks, but that's okay. Because now we can activate effect, and now he can't activate effects of fusions. Which is sick. Just absolutely insane, by the way. All right. And now, even better than we were the last time, we can go these two. We can go for... Yeah, sure. Oh. No, I didn't know what to do that. 25 seconds. No, it's negated. Go, go, go. Yeah, go, go, go. Go, go, go. Go, 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 hurry. We don't have time. Go, detach, not the mystical elf, go that one. Add the Zorda hand. Go, go, go. 18 seconds. Go, invocation, Magistus. Go. Yeah. Special, you, and you. Go. Go! Leave! Hurry, go! 14 seconds! We got this! 14 seconds, let's go! We're in there! Bye-bye! Done. 9-second turn. No quick effects left. Saved. Saved. Absolutely incredible. Locked out of fusions. Snatch stealed. Get snatch stealed, nerd. 99 seconds left. Absolutely crazy. All right, we'll activate the effect of Granola. The Granola. We'll target him. What are they gonna do anyways? Oh! This card. Oh! Wait a minute. This might work in our favor. This might work in our favor. This one, right? Synchro? Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Oh, wow. Like, totally freaked me out, huh? The Magistus. That's fine. He can't activate fusions nor the effects of synchros. So he's got to have specifically... I actually don't know what this gets him. That's a pog, dare I say it? I'm saying. Yeah, my favorite part of this duel was when my opponent said it's Dino Morphin time. True. Uh-oh. 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 It's here. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely brazy. Absolutely insane. We're crazy. We're cracked. We're just better. All right, battle phase. Is that there? Did we get it? Big chillin'. That's totally fine. I can make 2 attacks onto monsters. Let's go! Woo! Ah. With 9 seconds left. All we had to do was draw the out. Perfect. That's alone. That's a wrap. I could call that a day. Well, it took us 4 hours to try to get a win like that with Mystical Elf last time, but now, in the actual cool deck, it takes like an hour. One more for gold tier 2? I don't think the world's ready. That was actually insane. He's playing that card, but not an XYZ dragon and a fusion dragon. It's typically speaking, I've only seen people play the fusion, a fusion one, and then an XY, and then the synchro. I've never seen someone pull out the XYZ, and I don't know why. Not quite sure, actually. Whew. Insane. Actually insane. That was crazy. I'm glad we're doing this. I love this deck is unironically becoming one of my favorite decks on the wheel normal monsters, for sure. Yeah, but oh, Nicholas, by the way, hello. I didn't see you earlier when I was in my actual adrenaline state, but good to see you. Yeah, he's going down to single. I kind of wanted him to go down to like single digits or like super low digits. That would have been really funny. But oh well. Okay, Weather Painter, we'll see. Magistus is neat, but after all that gameplay, I still have no idea what they do. At the end of the day, they do nothing. Can you imagine if Dynamorphias became meta? Okay, Sparks. Actually, unironically, I think that like just a random burn cards would actually do it, yeah. Because they have some like damage protection from the traps in their graveyards, and they'd probably prioritize those ones for sure. But more often than not, they'd be in positions where, yeah, a Sparks or what's the one, the Burning House? That both of those would be hilarious. I would love to see that. But yeah, Magistus, like what their win condition is big winged man pass. So it's kind of like Heroes. Tremendous Fire. Tremendous Fire, that's what it is. Or no, I'm not thinking of Tremendous Fire. I'm thinking of is it Ozaki? I think it's Ozaki. Oh, it's Okazi. Okazi. Yeah, it's that one, That one's hilarious. I used to have so many of those. Yeah, Okazi, that's the one. Ozaki. Oh, Imperm. Perfect. Okay. Fun fact. We can't beat Weather Painters with this deck. We probably can, but we'll see. We'll start with Rescue Rabbit. We'll go with Rescue Rabbit. We're going to try to get our Mystical Elves back. Abaki. Abaki's probably... Well, Abaki's also one, right? Abaki. Did that get judgmented? Did he judgment that? All right. Go for Crowley. We'll discard our Rila. Can you believe this guy? Actually afraid. Okay. Interesting. All right, Crowley up on deck. What's next? Why has no one made the delete this meme, but with the weather painter snow? It's got a gun. What do you think of Morganite? Oh, that one's funny. I think it's a card that's like only really good in Flu and maybe gonna be good in like random stun decks or Monarch. But I love how people are like, don't get it twisted. This card's not good. That card's hilarious. Like, actually, it is so funny. It is so funny. It's not even that good. But I don't know. It's like not good for anything else. But the problem that's gonna happen is that like what if you forget to draw some stuff, you know? I've been running into crazy decks in gold. It's the beginning of the season, so it's definitely possible. What's going on, Overly Critical Anime, by the way? Hello, hello. I think it's funny, though. I'd definitely play it. It's definitely going to be played with, I think. The banishing for cost is kind of a problem here. All right, he's letting us have this one. Okay. So Magician's Invocation would be good. Another Vitra for next turn, or a Tris Magistus would be interesting, because we can also special summon the Crowley here. But I think we'd just rather go for a Vitra for next turn. Why not? All right, we're gonna go for the big of this one. Yeah, that shows the state of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's lingering spell that changes the rules of the game, and it's still not good. Kinda, right? Like, technically, it's weird because the balance of the card is nuts. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. This guy, like... Okay, so he has to have another weather painter in hand, right? I mean, we technically get to do it all over again with the Vitra next turn, but that's fine. Ooh, you said it becomes your favorite vanilla. Are you cheating on Neos? I mean, would you... Where's... Oh, I don't have Mystical Elf in my actual field, but I mean, would you cheat on Neos with Mystical Elf? I might. I just might. Just gotta believe what I'm saying. Who has a bigger booty, do you think? Neos or Mystical Elf? I think we all know the answer, right? Mystical Elf to the top series? Oh, you know what's funny? I actually and unironically think that Mystical Elf would make it further than Neos. A lot faster. It might take once we get to Platinum, once again, it would take a little bit of time. But I think Magistus is oddly enough a better deck than Neos. At times. At times. At times. It's really good. But at times. Yeah, is Neos Wingman out yet? No, not yet. We don't have any of the Power of the Elements support inside of Master Duel, so we're missing the Moki Moki guy. The Wheel Normal Monsters should, in theory, if they release the Wandering Moki Moki or Stray Moki Moki before we actually get to the Moki Moki on the Wheel Normal Monsters, I'll be very happy, because that card makes Moki Mokis incredible. It's so funny. I've been seeing replays and trying to like get deck inspiration for some of the decks, and it's pretty crazy. How do you upset your audience in one sentence? That's true. How to lose 3,000 subscribers in speedrun and challenge impossible. True. Like, actually true. Okay, so this effect comes from the Weather Bow. Oh, no, it comes from this one. Interesting. All right. I guess that's fine. He's got a whole lot of nothing here. He doesn't have no negations or anything. So I don't know. Yeah, I do think they'll release the Neos effect card. Effect card that makes the vanilla useless. No, I mean, they somewhat have done retrains of Neos before, but they've never had one that just replaces the old cards. And because Neos is an ace monster, it's very hard to think that they would. But it's possible. It's still very possible. Because technically there's a billion cards that count as Dark Magician or Blue Eyes, so maybe one day in the future we'll get this card counts as Neos, right? That'd be amazing. I would love that so much, because yeah, Neos in its current state is just not very possible. The new mate looking kind of meh. I love the new mate. The new Totally Awesome mate, that one looks great. Yeah, just out of curiosity, why'd you choose YouTube over Twitch? Because you already have a YouTube audience. It's a little complicated, right? Did we forget about Neos Alias? Neos Alias is the OG, that's what I'm saying. So one of the things that I decided to go for YouTube over Twitch is because I was already existingly streaming on YouTube before. Part of its audience, it's a little bit easier to transfer, quote unquote, transfer viewers and audience over from Twitch, from YouTube to YouTube than YouTube to Twitch. However, the Twitch audience is much better community-wise. The chat function's better, the emotes are better, and in general, the community's over there. So if, let's say, for example, I would get hosted by someone, it is very possible that it would be helpful for growth or etc. Like there are definitely positives to having to being on Twitch for sure, but it's also kind of hit or miss sometimes. And I think that Twitch's overall ecosystem is not great unless you're getting really lucky. Now, personally, I really do enjoy streaming on YouTube. I think the player is better. It takes a lesser cut. That's also correct. It's 70-30 in terms of money. But I don't make that much money off of YouTube in general, so it's not like a big decision point for me. But if it was, it looks pretty good, 70-30 versus 50-50, or even less than that now, I think. And on top of that too, you also have much more control over how the ads run. Like if you notice, there's no ads on my YouTube stream, even though there's always going to be ads on Twitch, even if I don't have ads available to me. So I can control the monetization, which is, I think, a better viewing experience. On top of that, if I did do members or subscribers, like Twitch subscribers equivalent, like a Twitch sub thing on YouTube for the members, I can control the price. I can have like a tier for $1, I can have a tier for $100, and I can do everywhere in between, which is super good. So the amount of control I have on YouTube is much higher. The player is much better. My bit rate and stuff, I can go up, and because the player is better. Like on Twitch, if I stream at a higher bit rate, then what ends up happening is that it can alienate viewers, especially on the mobile apps. And that's what I've been told by people, and I'm like, that's weird. Why would that be the thing that does that, So a lot of reasons why I do stream on YouTube in terms of positives. The biggest ones, though, negatively, are the fact that the chat isn't as good, the emote system is not there at all, and and I would love to have those things for sure. But yeah, and then just kind of general community aspect with chat and everything. Like the streaming culture is not quite built up on YouTube, but they're trying. What's going on, Hector? Hello, hello. I love your little community. Don't forget us once you become a big dog. Don't worry. I'm trying my absolute hardest to stay as small as possible, as long as possible. That's not true. But also, I mean, I don't know. I've been streaming and doing content for like 5 years now, and I still recognize a lot of faces and names that have come across in the years. And I think it's been actually really great to see everyone as come down and kind of hung out every so often. I think it's been great. All right. I think we can go for the invocation here, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you guys think? I can go for invocation, and I can summon. I can use these two in hand, and then summon the purple and go nuts with purple. That might be fun. Let's go with just this invocation. Why not? Daniel's right also too. Being low key is good too. I kind of like it. It's kind of nice. It's like I was talking to Blade YUGIOH a while back, and I know a name that no one's heard in like 40 years. And we were talking about growth on YouTube and growth on streaming and everything. And he was like telling me about all his plans, about all these things he had, and I was like, you know, while I really think that's a good idea, and while I really think that, you know, that he can over any of us do it, I think that there is a lot to be said about taking it kind of slow sometimes and doing things in a way that would work for you in the moment, rather than trying to look extremely far ahead where you don't even have the views yet. You know, man got 20,000 subscribers, but that's not to say that he, you know, obviously didn't make it, right? Don't swear on YouTube. True. That's true. I generally don't swear. In my videos, I sometimes swear, but not like a whole lot, you know? Okay. I think we can get really close. I don't even know if we can get to 1,000. I think we can. This is really funny, by the way. We'll detach the Rylobloom. We'll summon out the Endymion in attack position. And I think I can't attack with this card, right? It cannot activate its effects, but it can attack. I have lethal here. So, you know, I think we're going to do battle phase here. 25? Okay, we win. I didn't even get to weave Mystical Elf in the combo. But it's there. But anyways, so proud citizen of the Swoljama country. I do appreciate it, by the way. A rank up, sick. I do really appreciate it, but yeah, the Swole Nation, the Swole Train, as I've been calling it for a little while in secret, is great. But so okay, get back to the story. I was sitting here in this Discord call, I was talking with Blade, and we talked about growth and stuff, and he's like, I want to make a tech channel, I want to make an anime channel, I want to do all these things, because he had a lot of different interests, and I'm like, that's great. But the thing you have to realize is that, you know, while I think shooting for those things is ultimately what you should do, especially if you're ambitious like he is, and that man is ambitious as hell. One of the craziest things, I was like, you know, just kind of take your time and really make sure you try to polish your channel as much as possible, like really focus in on your Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and then spread outwards. You know, once you get to a certain point with your Yu-Gi-Oh channel, of course you can do whatever you want, or you can do it now. I mean, I'm not the police, but really just try to put out the best stuff that you can. And I always think to myself, one of my family members is like a career artist. He's like a big painter, and he told me, he was like, you know, Mason, you just make good stuff, and people will come. And that's kind of the thing I took, is just like, make the stuff as good as possible, and when I'm ready, and I think people will come. And I just kind of take that to heart. I think Duelogs is a great example of that. Duelogs is an amazing example of that. That man has so many channels. I think Hardleg too. Hardleg's got crazy channels. But they make extremely polished videos. And they make really, really good content. And I'm not like a big content guy in general, but I just kind of want to make cool things that I enjoy, and that hopefully you guys can enjoy too. That at the end of the day is like the best thing. You know? Yeah, don't cuss on YouTube. I heard about the new policy. The new policy is a little bit funky, but it's been there for a while. You know, Ruxin is a good example, fastest growing YouTuber, and he's branching out now. Ruxin is a great example. Ruxin is so normie, by the way. But I think what really made Ruxin big is that the pack openings were huge, and he did it at such a good time, and he posted every single day for like a whole year, which it really helped out, like the consistency. And you know, the biggest thing on YouTube is like consistency, and then every so often you'll hit a banger, and so you're as long, like your growth might look like this, but at least it's growing, you know. So I don't know. Plus, he's really good at his thumbnails, really good at his titles. He's also an entertaining personality. He knows a lot about Ronin Toden, so I don't know. I think about Asian Eyes when it comes to plateauing. It's crazy how he's been around forever and is never getting big. Asian Eyes is an example of... Actually, if you guys want to side and venture off for a split second, I can tell you specifically why Asian Eyes is where he is. I can tell you specifically. So if we go to Ruxin's bandless reactions are based. I love Ruxin's bandless reactions. They're so good. They're actually amazing. All right, I'm gonna put you guys over here now. So if my face is a little more towards here when I'm talking to you, it's because chat's over there now. All right, let me flip over real quick to YouTube. This one? Yes. Okay. Most of you guys do not know this. Some of you guys might, but your boy is a marketing guy. That's my background. For all intents and purposes, it's communications, it's marketing. I'm a UX and UI designer by trade, which means I had to do like a lot of different things. And a lot of it was like marketing psychology and like people and purchasing psychology. You also had things like general graphic design and kind of tenants with art and art direction. It's kind of funny, like this one decision I made ended up wrapping in a bunch of interests that I do find interesting. So like business and marketing is something that I do really appreciate. So if we go to Asian Eyes White Dragon, aka Slaydra, YGO, 64.7 thousand subscribers.
Are you guys ready?
And 6 years ago, he still has a video pinned from 6 years ago. And it's 139,000 views. And I've never had a YouTube video get to that. If I go to my channel, like my top view is 33,000, which is close. I'd say it's close, right? But the biggest thing is like you can take a look at his popular videos from like 3 years ago, which is still actually pretty big. Also insane, like how to download stuff. You have various stuff from 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago. And if we go to his videos, we actually can't search anymore by last, I believe. Yeah, I don't think so. But from about 5 years ago, you can kind of see this really big and steep drop off. So if we scroll all the way down to even like a year ago, 3.1, I see 800, I see a stack, I see 3K, I see 4K, I see 6K, 9K, that's the Master Duel bump. Big Master Duel bump, look at this, 44. Let's go. Let's go, Slaydra. Easy peasy. Yeah, we're still going. It's been over a year, and there's like videos at 2K, at 7K, and at like 5K. Like, in terms of numbers, 5,000 is a lot. And we can't say that it's not. And I can't necessarily say that it's not. But Asian Eyes White Dragon's been around for a very long time. And even compared to other channels like his, he is getting much, much less views. Now, why is that? Right? Now, a lot of it has to do with the thumbnails. A lot of it has to do with the actual content itself. A little bit of it has to do with the actual numbers itself, right? And also has to do with like the platform. Now, this is a year ago that he's playing on YGO Pro, which is totally fine. But what does this offer that something like DZeef or something like MBT or something like House of Champs or SEMO, what does that offer what does this offer that those don't? And that's the question that you kind of have to ask yourself in a quote-unquote competitive little market, right? Like, in theory, the answer should be it's Asian Eyes. It's the actual personality, because personality sells. John from House of Champs actually has this great thing back to back to back that he said, like, you know, online and online personality spaces, one of the biggest things that sells, it's personality, content, and then after that, it's quality. Or like equipment stuff, right? So those are like the big top three. The first is personality. Regardless if you have a bad setup, if you have a bad like computer, if you have bad lighting, bad microphone, then people are going to be there for you because you have a great personality, right? Like you know a ton of streamers that have like stream off of their 720p webcam, but they're super entertaining as hell, right? On top of that, the next thing, the content, is another one that sells. So the personality is the big one that sells. Is like the absolute number one factor. If you have a good infectious personality, you'll grow and you'll stay there. The second is content. If your content itself, when I click in the video, like your personality will get you in the door. Now make me stay for the 5 and 8 minutes that you're talking. Like, how do you do that? Right? That's the second question you have to ask yourself. So like your personality will get you there. It'll say, oh boy, a new Swolelax video today. And then when you click on it, you'll sit there and be like, why am I watching this? Is this actually a good video? And then that also means like right below that, your quality of your equipment, of your microphone, of your camera, of your lights, of your actual like stream setup, of whatever, that will also determine the second thing, like why someone's watching. Maybe the quality is really high. Maybe it's like really entertaining. Part of that has to do with personality too, right? So, you think the Yu-Gi-Oh meta changes so much that it makes video in part in the past not so useful anymore? Completely, actually, yes. So that's also something that I've talked with several other YouTubers about, is like evergreen content, so to speak. And that's something that I've tried to do myself and break away from in the past couple of years. Despite the fact that more recently I did just make like a review of a card, but timing was there. It was kind of insane. Is that anytime you make a ban list reaction, unless it's really big, you're gonna date yourself and the video is gonna be old in a year and no one's gonna go back to watch that ban list reaction. Not necessarily true, people might, but so you'll get a lot of views in the meantime, but over time it's just gonna become dated. So like card reviews and card readings, I think they're important for the ecosystem of Yu-Gi-Oh. So in particular, like we need to have opinions and discussions around new cards and new strategies, around decks, around things that happen. And that's healthy for the game, super healthy. The unfortunate side effect of that is that videos discussing those things are going to be old. And that happens with, someone just peeled out. That happens with every single video game, though, not just even card game. Think Valorant, think Overwatch, any new patches that come out, right? Smash, any new characters that come out. Everything is just dated after that point. So it is kind of an unfortunate side effect of like modern game design. But it is something that is necessary, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, thumbnails are too complicated. I think the thumbnails are actually like this is an actually like horrendous thumbnail. This one right here, right? And a lot of these thumbnails I think are a little bit too complicated. Like the ones that do really well are more about the subject matter, but the actual thumbnails themselves, like what is making me click on this thing? And the answer is like kind of nothing. Like over someone else's like video, right? And also, what does the thumbnail tell me about the actual video itself? And the answer is also nothing. Also still nothing. Which is, I think that's kind of the problem. Like, while these thumbnails are very well produced, and I'd say over some other thumbnails that you would see out there with channels of similar view count, the problem is that they don't really tell me anything along with the title. Like, you really should be using your titles and your thumbnails to try to create a complete like view of everything. Like, if you notice, a lot of my videos and my titles and thumbnails, like, does ARM Neos make Neos top tier? Yes, it's broken. I try to answer my question in the same one. The only are like Diamond Dude Enjoyer, right? When you click on it, it says Diamond Dude. The Neos to the top ones are a little bit different. I think these ones are more or less just kind of fancy. But like, what makes you click on the videos whenever you see it, right? Is it a meme? Is it the actual subject matter? Like, this is an Avion deck. Like how it feels to play Neos, and that's like the story is like the picture, right? Yeah, show don't tell method. Yeah, pretty much. Like this one's a little bit different. Like 10 years later is kind of describing it. The Giga Chad way to play. You're like, I don't know. I think that's kind of the way to go. I love this one right here. This one makes no sense for the video, but what happens when you don't play meta in Yu-Gi-Oh and it's that thumbnail? Absolute banger, right? If you know, you know. So that's kind of the gist I think that's missing from Asian Eyes' videos, is that, and his thumbnails specifically. And I've always prided myself on having good thumbnails. Even if my view count's not necessarily super high, I think it's just kind of like, it's there. Can you explain the Arsartic one then? True. What? True. No. That's just like, it's just it's the XYZ festival. So, it's the synchro on the couch and then the Dryden in the back. I think that's it. I don't, yeah, it's just, I wanted to show off the cards that I was playing against in the XYZ festival. For sure. Oh man, I hate your summon skull thumbnail, made me uncomfortable. Did I tell you guys what this thumbnail was before? Did you guys see the previous thumbnail? Cause like, and the title of it was something like, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was essentially, the summon skull was flipping off everyone, and it was like censored, and the title was something along the lines of like this a deck only Yu-Gi-Oh boomers could play, or Yu-Gi boomers hate this deck, or something like that. And then I changed it because YouTube didn't like it. I don't know what about it. Something about YouTube not liking that thumbnail, obviously. And I changed it to say, please watch this terrible summon skull deck, and then the flowers, because I thought that was funnier. And it ended up being a better thumbnail. Or this one. This one's a perfect example. Konami's most disgusting Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and it's a picture of the Ojamas. But if you know it's Ojamas, you know it's Ojamas. But if you don't, you're like, oh, interesting. What's this deck? And because you see the gross face, right? I like the Jade and Pepe one. That's still I was laughing while making that thumbnail. It's having fun with it. It was super sick. But yeah, I think you need to give your fans what they need, and it does not mean changing your videos, but you need to do what they want. This is actually kind of an interesting topic as far as like a question goes with that, because so while I think changing your content and evolving with your content is something that is very important to everyone, like if you look at DZeef's channel, DZeef is a guy that has changed his videos forever. Like every single like couple years, DZeef absolutely just like changes his formats. Like he's a big discussion guy and has always had that. But then, you don't scroll on too far and you have like recent discussions that are right there. Or you have like his nowadays channel stuff is his Master Roulette and Master Saga stuff, which is these things get insane views, especially for his subscriber count. Like he's getting, like this one's 91 for 200,000. That's almost 50% of his subscribers watching that video. That's insane. Conversely, look at Sladra at 64,000 and getting 2 to 1K views. Right? DZeef invented YugiTubing? I kind of think so. Like I remember I was watching Doug back whenever he made his announcement video when he went to YugiTubing full time. And the man went from like pack openings and discussion videos on like a PowerPoint slide to having some of the best content ever imaginable. Even those discussions on the PowerPoint slide were amazing. So once again, like the personality of Doug and also the content of Doug making it so good and consistent really helped him grow and sustain an audience. And then at a certain point, transitioning that into Master Duel content very seamlessly. And then that's kind of the way to go, right? DZeef means Simo at home. I mean, yeah, look, like Simo in the series, right? 300,000 viewers, and he's getting 50K, 60K, like not as much views per subscriber as Doug, like for sure. But even then, it's like Simo is a pivotal historical person inside of the Yugi-tubing space, because he's kind of the one that kind of proved that people would watch series. And that's another thing. So it kind of relates to Judai, what Judai's like thing was earlier, which is that like, while you should stick to yourself and kind of make content that you want to make, like giving your fans what they need, right? Like I can make Neos videos and hero videos a lot, but I also don't be afraid to branch out and do like, this was the AI generated one. We had the Suship video, the Ursartic video. Like there's several other aspects to doing content creation that, or not content creation, but like videos and that aren't necessarily part of your subject or topic, quote unquote, and your main base. I think I can't remember who said this. It was like probably half of a decade ago. I was listening to this podcast or watching this video, and someone said like make videos for your subscribers and for your audience, but then also realize that like that they also don't know what they want necessarily until they see it, right? Like whenever you see a video, like if you're watching someone you're subscribed to and you see a video and you're like, I really enjoyed that, but you could never have thought of that idea until you're like, oh, that's a great idea. But then conversely, like if you see a video and you're like, that's not quite it. That's not quite it, right? Then at that point, that's what I'm talking about. Is that people aren't dumb. If you release a video that's low quality, it's kind of like not that good, or it's just not the feel that you're trying to go for your channel, people will know and they'll resonate with that and they'll just stop watching. And that's, I think, what happened with Sladra, is that he kept on doing, he put out stuff that his initial watchers would want to watch, and then kept on doing that forever and ever. And so the diminishing return on people coming back to watch Sladra over and over again just got so low. Like all of his videos from 5 years ago to now are the exact same. There's nothing different. And so outside of trying to grow with his audience, he just kind of made the audience and just kind of said, I'm going to keep on doing this. And then on top of that, he also, uses references. #1 Yu-Gi-Oh gameplay channel dedicated to Harambe. Like that if that doesn't just completely encapsulate the problem, then I don't know what does. New Banner brings up a good point. People will get tired of Saga and Prog at some point. Yeah. And before that too, Asartics need to become your mascot when you get big. I really do like the Asartics, by the way. And it started out ironic. But I really do like the Asartics. Like a worrisome amount. Like so much that I wanted to buy the collector's rare editions of the Asartic cards. Do you know how expensive those are? They're like oddly expensive per copy, and I want 3 of them. I want a playset of each collector's rare. There's 1 in the big one, the Serpentron, and 3 in the bear. And I need 3 bear in the deck. But I want it. And that's a problem, because that deck sucks. I want to take Asartics to a tournament sometime, because it's like, it's up there with like one of my biggest surprises that I really enjoy playing that deck. It's just so silly. But yeah, Harambe was dated 5 years ago. I'm saying, I laughed at Dicks Out for Harambe. I laughed at all the Harambe memes at the time, and even now, every so often, you'll get a good chuckle out of me when someone's like, like makes a Harambe reference every now and again. Maybe I just find it funny. No, I'm just joking. No, but you're right. It's outdated, right? But people get tired of Saga. I'm already tired of Saga and Prog. So here's the thing with Saga and Prog, and you can kind of tell based off of view count. And this is something that Ludwig actually talked about, and I think it's very poignant. So when you look at the first one, 500,000 views. We'll look at the second one because the first one is really big, 200,000 views. And you scroll all the way to the middle of it, 69, 1K, nearly half of a drop off. And then you keep on going down and it's 81. It starts to go down all the way until you get the very last one of 114,000. Right. And that's kind of what happens, right? It's kind of sick because like these are great views. I'm not saying that the views fell off, but what ends up happening is that, when you have a big series or like a Let's Play, for example, and this is what this was the Ludwig tip, is that when you have a series with a number on it, people are gonna have to watch in order. Unfortunately, like you don't have to, like you can pretty much jump into Prog at any time or Prog playoffs and really enjoy the series, but people will get really hype at the initial, And then as it goes down, you won't get as many new viewers because they see Progression Series 26 and they're like, well, I have to watch 25 more Progression viewers. Conversely, if you don't title it that, people will click on it because they're like, it just seems like a new video. You just have to make sure you don't have the number on there because that does scare people away. However, it'll have a slight return, right? The biggest parts of a Let's Play that get views are the very first episode and of Minecraft Let's Play and the very last episode, because the very last episode is like the finale. People want to see where it went and where it came from. But the stuff in between will have diminishing return. And so yeah, people will get tired of Prague and Saga and I think that's why I think the biggest one that I love the most is Roulette. Like, Master Roulette is sick, and I don't know how else to really explain this.
Welcome to another episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master.
Like, Master Roulette's amazing, but it's very possible Sage forgot what his banner said and hasn't seen. That's actually probably very likely. Did you guys know, like, my banner that I had for a long time was the one I've had for a while, and I changed it to my minimalist one because I think this one kind of fits the rebrand of Swolelax a little better. But, like, you look at that. Harambe, insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, I think do old school cards or meme card that's best in videos and it shows you can do new things within fun. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of ideas that have been scratched, right? I think it's just a problem with the numbered series in general. I think DZ has a good idea with having Saga only be 20 episodes. Kind of saying. But yeah, that's why Simo said he does the card by card in every episode, but it's hard to get invested halfway through unless Secrets of Eternity is your favorite set. Secrets of Eternity was released in 20... But yes, yeah, completely, right? Do I own a dual disc? I don't. I need the GX one. I used to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had the GX one. I got it for Christmas one year, and it blew my mind. I loved that thing so much. I also had the OG one, the one that like you press the button and it went... And that one broke because I pressed that button a little bit too much, and it like snapped off one time when it went like this and went like that. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, the Orichalcos. My older brother had the Orichalcos dual disc. That one's so cool. I want to like get all of them and like hang them on the wall like swords. That's really weeby, but I think they're neat. I like them a lot. Yeah, first episode of Roulette is awful. It's the mirror match. I think it's really funny, but yeah, that one's super cool. But anyways, so to kind of explain what I was talking about earlier, right? So the views will go all over the place. The beginning of the series will have a lot of views. It'll dwindle off, and then the finale will have a lot. And people will get sick of Saga. They'll get sick of Prague. They'll get sick of things. There is one exception. That's Master Roulette. And let me explain. Master Roulette is by far the best series. Not only is it one of the funniest ones, of course, because MBT is in it, and I think that his personality brings a lot and definitely meshes well with Doug's more straight face, like straight man personality. I also think that the premise alone is really what sets it apart. The fact that it's random makes it like where you can jump in at any point. It doesn't really matter what you do. Like, yeah, there's definitely a win streak and there's some history there. So like if you hear a joke in episode 31 here, you can kind of assume, you don't have to like know the whole lore, but it'll make it better for those who have been watching it, because legitimately this is just anthology. When you break it down from like a big like drama epic, like let's say you can't necessarily tune in to like Stranger Things halfway through the season, right? You can't watch what's the big HBO one that everyone loves? Not Game of Thrones. I mean, you can watch Game of Thrones, but like halfway through the series, but why would you want to? The ending of that one sucks. I'm thinking of it. It's coming to me. Succession. You can't watch Succession halfway through season 2 and be like, I get it. This is fun for me, right? But conversely, you can watch like cartoons. You can watch cartoons episode by episode, and they're like they can have an overall plot, but you can enjoy them all together. And so I'm not saying that Master Roulette is like cartoon level, it's definitely prestige level. But the point of it is that the idea behind it is so repeatable. You can enjoy it every single week. The format is very simple and easy, but the variance in the series is the part that gives it a lot more life for the viewers. Like, I can watch Prague every single week, and I can take a break from watching Prague every single week. And I know the format every single week, but like, and while it is different every single week, the fact that the decks sometimes aren't different is kind of insane, you know? Yeah, roulette's like Seinfeld. Bingo. Perfect. Yeah, Master Roulette is kind of like Seinfeld. You can jump into Seinfeld at any single point and have a grand old time watching for 30 minutes. Or you can watch the whole season and know that, you know, Jerry did go on a date with such and such girl, and George did, you know, what was a fake architect, etc. You know, whatever his fake architect name, etc., right? MBT's Roadrunner Doug is well. True. The tunnel. Yeah, right. Like that. So that's kind of what I mean. Is that Prague is our prestige television series. It's our absolute, like, man, like, this is a really crazy show. Every single time is hype. It's so good. And we always watch it because it's always going to get the accolades, the awards. But the true GOAT is Master Roulette. Because the formatting, it's great for new viewers. It's great for old viewers. It's great for, and it's great for, like, the actual series. Every single time it's different. Every single time it's new. But the format is just the same, right? It's actually particularly why I like the Wheel of Normal Monsters series so much. Like, I posted a playlist a while back for the Wheel of Normal Monsters, not to toot my own horn or anything. Yu-Gi-Oh has over 10,000 cards with 10,000. That's good to know. But every single time, the format's kind of the same. We spin the wheel, we get the monster, and then we build the deck. We try to win on ladder. Super simple, barely an inconvenience. If you can't tell, a lot of this is inspired by Master Roulette. We pick an archetype of the normal monster instead, and then we go, right? Yeah, it's Breaking Bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been waiting for a long time to talk about the series. Yeah, IMO. Doug gets some hate because he loses a lot, but I got to be honest, it makes it only funnier to me. I love Doug, and I think that people take these series like a little too seriously. But the cool thing about them is that, like, at least with Master Roulette, like, it's the least amount of stakes. With Prague and Saga, if there's a losing streak at any time, everyone's always like, this is exactly why they... But with Master Roulette, they're like, oh, well, they just rolled bad. And not trying to apply that to the other series, which is absolutely, like, bonkers to me. But yeah, like, essentially that's like my... That's my thesis here, is that I think it's much more effective to have like an anthology type series where you don't have to know the lore, you don't have to know the jokes, you don't have to know like any of this stuff to really enjoy an episode if you come across it. Like, clearly inside of the Wheel of Normal Monsters, the Sue ships, the Ojama, the Summon Skull, and the Hero ones have over 1,000 views. The rest of them, the other two, have like 800, I think 700 views. So if you're someone who's like looking for a Sue ship video and you come across this one, but let's say, for example, the Sue ship one is tied to a series that's 7 episodes long so far, you won't really get the video until you watch the other 6 episodes. So, but instead, for this, you can just pop in, you can see, oh, Sue ship gameplay, man, that was really cool. Or you can see, okay, this bit was really fun. This bit was actually really hilarious. I like this bit a lot. I think this is post-Halloween. I think so. It's me. Yu-Gi-Oh's over 10,000. Anyways, so you can watch this one, and it has nothing to do with the first one, but it's still part of the same little series. The only thing that's telling you that it's part of the same series is because there's less monsters. But that's also on me inside of the episode to say, we've already spun X, Y, and Z, right? So if you want to go see those videos, they are out there, but you're not going to miss anything because of this episode. You won't miss anything from this episode if you missed the last episodes, right? So once again, I think Master Roulette is legitimately the goated series. It's the one that you can kind of clearly see as well gets the most views, 94, 91. Oh man, 200, that's incredible, wow. Man, his discussion videos are doing really good. Oof, what the heck? I did not know that, that's insane. 97, 88, that's the one exception. 90, but then like see the finale for Master Saga, 100K, this one's 80K, 100K here. Like these series in between have like the Master Roulettes have like generally 20, like 10 to 20K views more than the actual Saga episodes, except for the beginning and the finale. It's the same rules. So because if I want to watch season 3 episode 4, I probably should have to go back and watch season 3 episode 3. But like Brandon J was saying, I think it's also really smart that it's also having 20 episodes is really simple. Having shorter episode time spans means it's much less investment for your person to watch. Conversely, you watch the progression series, and the progression series is 83 sets or 81 sets, you know? Anyways, that's my rant on it. Back to Slaydra. A few things that are wrong, and why, if you can take any of that into contextualization with Slaydra, here's your big takeaways. The first, the thumbnails don't actually work for YouTube anymore. They used to, but they don't actually quite work anymore, which is sad. It's kind of sad to say. They have to be either super standard or really clickbaity, and these aren't. Unfortunately, these are not either. The second is that the format of the videos have not changed for over a decade, and it needs to. Reinventing yourself is really important. You can start discussions, but choosing to do something that you think is different is usually, you know, a good thing. Or if it doesn't work out, then you go back to the old thing. So doing the same thing over and over again and expecting and getting the same thing over and over again is fine, but doesn't quite transfer into long-term growth. On top of that, the actual subject matter and obviously some of the memes or some of the jokes, there are some things that don't quite work. The actual talking points, while they are on new cards, once again, you'll get a lot of influx of people looking for these new cards. But then after that, I can't watch this video a year later, but I could go into even Prague or Master Roulette a year later and watch it and still have fun. So that's kind of the gist of it. Is at the end of the day, there's a lot of reasons, particularly either by market trends for Yu-Gi-Oh!, how the YouTube algorithm works, and how the general design of Sladra's channel has worked in the past, but doesn't quite work anymore. However, I think those like DZeef, Simo, Team Sam, Farfa, House of Champs, Nim as well, all excel and do really great. Even some of the new guys, like head-to-head battles, or like head-to-head battles. Pack obviously is like a exception slightly, but still really good. RJ has blown up recently too. Like, there's a good reason why the people that you watch and you see are the people that you watch and see, and why the other ones that you don't necessarily. Anyways, rant over. I've been talking about Yugi tubing for like an hour. Let's go back to playing the game. I had a lot of fun talking about it though. I do really like business marketing and kind of dissecting why things do and don't work. What makes a good user experience, what makes a good video experience. So, however, in this series, Luke Von Karma, another one that is also on the come up too, which is really good. Ooh, wait a minute. We're in the domain. Hi, this man, please. I've heard working for Konami, you have to sign hella NDA. And I'm not saying I wouldn't break an NDA. Oh, Runic. God dang. Okay. It's fine. Totally fine. You know what the problem with Runic? The card that protects them banishes for cost. It's not for cost, it just happens. It's not to say what I would break an NDA. Because I've had NDAs before. The Illustrials one actually had an NDA. But I am like incredibly discussion based. I would love to talk about it with people, and even like after I'm done working for them. Apparently, I think Konami has like a lifetime NDA. I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure we'd have a lot more people that worked for Konami say things about Konami. Yeah, big confident, which I think makes sense. Big confidentiality agreements for corporations and companies that produce products makes sense. I'm not saying that like Nintendo or Microsoft or etc. need to have like complete transparency, and that their employees should, because when you're releasing a product, there's definitely a marketing and a strategy that goes into not having everyone spill the beans. It's the after you're done working there part that I'm like, I'm really curious to know why we don't hear from more ex-Konami employees. And I'm pretty sure it has to do with like a lifetime NDA. Almost certain. Almost certain. All Yu-Gi tubers are secretly Konami shills? True. That actually leads me into a point. Would I be open to working with Konami? I think it's way too early to even discuss this, because it's not even like a thing, but I have had people ask, like, if Konami came to me with a sponsorship for like the new set or something, would I do it? Probably. I mean, like, I don't actually think that I would know until it happened. There's some people that are like, nah, I can't do it. And also I have some friends that I know that have gotten burned by Konami before, but honestly, you know, this is the one, right? Yeah, what's going on, Nick? Hello, what I missed? We've just been talking about Yu-Gi tubing and Sladra and why Sladra kind of L plus ratio plus fell off, and why I think Master Roulette is the God series, the actual literal God series. But, you know, nothing much. Now, it's how I feel when there are supposed leakers. I mean, it's someone either messed up or they're lying. Sometimes it's... You'd be surprised with leakers. Sometimes it's actually just the actual employees. This one negates the effect, right? Yeah. Okay. So I can Harpy's Feather Duster here. It's actually the employees that leak it out to somewhere, or it's strategic, and it's a strategic leaking. That actually happens all the time. Like, people will like accidentally leak something to someone, or they'll have a contact in, or they'll like let something get out about something. It's pretty common that you'll see that, actually. All right, I think we win this one. I mean, look at that. Yeah, I've always wondered how Konami chooses what Yu-Gi tubers to work with. Like, why don't they work with Simo or Ruxin back in the day? So Ruxin, unclear. I think the opportunity maybe has not come to them. I know they're really strict. They're like super, super strict with how they operate. Ruxin, unclear. Simo, I think, got blacklisted a couple years ago. He made a video about it. I actually don't know the complete drama with it. I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know what decides them to choose who. I have my theories. I think that they typically will choose someone who they think can represent the brand the best, and also someone who is seemingly going to be able to follow their NDA procedures pretty well. I think. Ooh, all right. They're actually letting us go pretty far. I don't know exactly what is... It's probably Max C in hand. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we actually have kind of a problem, but I think it's fine. Yeah, in another game I play, someone is claiming to, after watching some French video, that the game will have a sequel, but the fluent French speakers say it's BS. Yeah, like there's kind of easy ways to tell that there's like something going on. Now, to be fair, some people do read a lot into the leaks or into messages or into like supposed stuff, for sure. But you know, back in the day, so it's confusing. Yeah, I think there's a difference between like being critical of Konami and being like and like denouncing or that kind of thing. I don't know, because while I would say that I agree, because I think a lot of people do and did, there are several times where where Doug or some other Konami sponsored YouTuber or advisor, or what's the one they say, consultant, I guess, whatever, they hire some of the pro players to do commentary, and they'll say stuff like, well, you know, this card's not the best, but they typically will like round it out with saying like it has potential, or it feels like an overly neutral thing, you know. All right, I'm just gonna lock them out of fusions and links. Let's see what that gets us. Yeah, I'll just try to put in these perspectives, these decisions on the other side. And it called mentally. No, I think honestly, and this sounds kind of bad, but it's true. Like sometimes you do have to think pretty overtly about what the intentions of the company are, and if it makes sense for the company's move to do something. And if it's not, then you know, it might not be real. Like for example, like why does Konami ban a certain card but semi-limits others? And it's like, think from their perspective, like where that comes from. Oh, Numeron. I don't mind if I do. This is going to be really interesting. I guess I could have gone for an XYZ monster. Oh, whatever. Doesn't really matter. I have the saving grace here. And if I draw into something, then I think we're fine. But anyways, so the point is that I think being critical versus but still, oh, Max C, very cool. This is exactly what I wanted. Very cool. I can still save myself here, I'm pretty sure. I go, yeah. It goes 2K, right? Yeah, 2K here. I think I have to do it here. Yeah, that's correct. Anyway, so there's a difference between like riding a line and being even more middle of the road versus like, you know, totally denouncing or anything. But there are levels to it. He just wanted it better. He had the limiter removal. We haven't faced Numeron in a while. By the way, yeah, YUGIOH is just another company that makes money, so some of its products will be based on doing like stuff like that. No, completely right. Like Master Duel and gem purchases. The only thing I don't understand with Master Duel so far is why we haven't gotten the rest of the cards from Pote in the game or something, you know? That's the only one that I don't understand. So, I don't know. I would love to be secretly a Konami shill at the end of the day, though. Man, I would shill the hell out of some hero cards. Can you imagine? World premiere debut, they give Mr. Hero the hero? That'd be insane. Be like, guys, this one's so good. Oh my god. Even though, you know, in a couple weeks I'd be like, yeah, it was not that great. I mean, Sam debuted War Rocks. So, you know, could be worse. Yeah, gold is a wild rank, a wild rest of ranks. I completely agree. New monster hero. What's up, Kerry? How's it going? Hello, hello. This should be a platform to test out Numeron decks, or what? It's difficult to even get decent cards. Yeah, so I think that it kind of depends on the actual deck building for Master Duel. Master Duel is one of the easiest ways, I think, to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, for sure. I think it has a lot of things going for it. But one of the things that is somewhat kind of difficult is that the deck building to an extent can be very problematic. This game does encourage, especially if you're free to play the same deck for like 6 months. Even though realistically you can probably build a deck like once every month. You get like 5,000 gems per their dailies and stuff, which is okay, you know. That counts. Yeah, Numerons aren't doing well right now because of Runic. Oh, they have a terrible matchup against Runic. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, with all the issues that I have with Konami, all can be forgiven if Swole and Ruggles can host a health section on the official Yu-Gi-Oh channel. I would love to. If I can work out with Ruggles and have a grand old time, that's my guy. We're in there. He has a max C, right? This is crazy. All right, well, maybe he has an imperm too. Worst case scenario, we don't add a spell trap and we go. But yeah, I'm kind of convinced that they're saving Bach Dark Magician cards for a year anniversary. That would make a lot of sense. And in theory, it would also allow for like I think I just set, right? Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think that would make sense. Like if they added Dark Magician and Hero stuff, like Illusion of Chaos, but then like Deer Note's huge, right? We're missing Pote, we're missing Bach, so they're behind 2 sets, right? Not entirely behind because Bach has some cards, but man, we need the rest of those ASAP. I think that's the big one. And I'd be down as like because how they can't not have like a year selection pack in theory and not have Dark Magician or Neos. They have to make it big, right? It's just the biggest thing in the world. I'm so dumb. I just realized the line. The line here is legitimately to go for Artemis Magistus Maiden. You trade this for the 1. You summon this one. You use this to equip it. You get a search. That was the play. But whatever. It's fine. Totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah, but yeah, they have to have like a big selection pack. They can't just unfortunately shove the Neos cards into like a random thing. They probably could, but I hope so. I hope they do something with it. He doesn't know. I mean, technically he can make he has the long one, so he probably has a card to discard, which is no, he probably does. It's fine. Oh, quick effect. That's perfectly fine. If he's gonna summon a Moye, that's okay. I can also imperm the Moye. But I doubt it. Yeah, it's not available on telephones. It's bad that is. It's fair. I just want to wake up E-Hero card and I'll be complete. I'd be, man, if they release the wake up your hero card for the TCG sometime soon, I'm always in there. Revealing Longwan. Oh, okay, so he has game. Longwan discard the 10, you go for Baron pretty much regardless, so I think we're kind of out of there. Close though, really close. One Ash Blossom did it. Yeah, if you invest your recourses into staples early, buying decks is easy, but newcomers waste it on building a Blue Eyes deck, have nothing left. I'm saying. I actually recently rewatched, I had a video about like my first impressions on Master Duel, and I had a few things that like specifically were like, hey, buy staples, don't listen to anyone else, and get their master packs later. And people were like, and so I saw some videos that were like, buy your deck cores, and I'm like, what? No, it's just like real Yu-Gi-Oh. Buy your staples. You'll use those forever. You know, I don't know. I think they're further behind now than when the game released. Yes, when the game released, they were only like maybe like a couple sets behind. Now they are getting very, very behind. Big behind. Honestly, I shouldn't have activated that. Because I should have activated Crowley here, but that's okay. Okay. So realistically, I can get what I need to, but we'll be alright. We'll be A-okay. So do I go for a special summon and then get what from that special summon is the question. Maybe I should have gotten a Crowley here. Crowley would have been good. If I searched Crowley instead of this, I think I would have had it, right? Because if we discard the Zora, go for 2, go for 3, it's fine. I'll just lock him out. We'll lock him out of fusions, we'll lock him out of the extra deck. If we get Lightning Storm, that's on me. You heard it here first. That's on me. We'll lock him out of fusions, we'll lock him out of links, we'll be alright. What you cooking? What's going on, Oxy? Hello, hello. No worries that you're late. Always on time, never late. End phase. We're cooking Magistus with Mystical Elf. Speaking of which, just going on Demon Pit. Hello, hello, good to see you. I use Mystical Elf mix with Endymion, and the Watching the Dark Elves attack rays from stars as base. I think it's kind of cool. Ah, hey, we found the secret problem with Magistus is Book of Moon with map. Feels good. Yeah, we're approaching the 1-year anniversary, and I only hope for something big. When you tribute summon to a monster, draw or 2. What is this guy playing? I'm so upset. Whatever. I started amount. I put in a starting amount and didn't have to spend another dime, but the starting amount was like 200 though. So I've definitely spent way overspent on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel comparatively, for sure. Big problem with your boy though is that I was free to play for a long time, and honestly, I think I made a video a while back. It's like the free to play gems I got was like something 40,000. Oh, nice call by. You had to have exactly call by there, and it was sick. It was 40,000 free gems. I think like halfway through the year, or maybe like a beginning part of the year after the XYZ festival, I think. And that's a lot. Like this game is pretty generous with its gem economy. So I was watching Dynamorphia with Supreme King Souls, and he would have Book of Moon his own Zark to resolve the nuke. Book of Moon's kind of crazy. In fact, for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Nuzlocke, we're gonna get Book of Moon probably at like 2. Oh, I love the totally awesome frog pet. Look at him, he's so cute. This game is funded by Duel Links Whales. Big true. Big if true. I don't know who told the Duel Links people to spend a lot of money in this game, but they didn't have to. Yeah, why do Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, by the way, declare something as anecdotal evidence when the player won the tactically repetitively consistently? I don't know, man. It's pretty funny to me, like, how much Yu-Gi-Oh! Players will actually cope on stuff. Hey, look at this. We can summon Mystical Elf for the first time in a while. Feels pretty good. Yu-Gi-Oh! Nuzlocke? That's right. I was going to do that tonight, but I decided to redo the Mystical Elf Wheel of Normal Monsters run, and I'm having a blast. This deck is so cool. Dang, this is cool. I'm going to search for Crowley, I think. Maybe Zora for next turn, but it's all okay. Go for 2 detach special summon. Yeah, that's nope. That's the wrong one. There are 2 XYZs, and I will always not remember one of them. But yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Nuzlocke is I can actually explain it after this match. It's pretty simple, but it's I think it's really cool. We'll detach the Zora, and then we'll summon out the Rylabloom. Go for this. Well, I'm just a Spell or Trap. I'm unfortunately gonna have to go for Vitra here. And we'll go for Vitra. We will go for Zora. Boom. We will special summon out our main guy and go attack position. I think I'm just gonna go for Synchros here. We'll go for Synchros. And that way I can't get destroyed by spells and traps. We will go for Crowley's effect here. We'll get rid of the XYZ. We'll go face up defense position. I'm going to go for Magistos. We'll go out of here. We'll target this guy. We'll give him the XYZs. Easy peasy. And then I kind of want to go into the Artemis card to equip the Crowley and get the Crowley to equip the Link monster. That way they're locked out of 3 except for that. But I think I might just save it. I think I might just save it for the meantime. Yeah, I think I'm gonna save it because if I draw a Zora or if I get a Zora, then it's bad. Because I think we lost the die roll, no? And so this could be Numeron. But yeah, I find myself wanting to stay in gold because I can get more gems at the bottom of silver. Kinda. I actually did the math on this a while back. It was for a video I was working on. Interesting. Fascinating. That's okay. He banished our other mystical elf though, so that kind of sucks. Oh, it's not fusions. Oh, because it's runic. Oh my gosh, I hate runic so much. All right. They have 7 copies of Fountain, by the way. And oh, looky there. They have a Call by the Grave. Very neat. I don't know. I've been having a blast with my Arcana Knights and Utopia. I actually really want to build an Arcana Knight deck. Is that deck expensive? It might be actually, right? But yeah, so I did the math on it, and the actual like calculations out is if you were to miss, like if you get to Platinum 1, which I think is the best balance between, and you don't climb any higher. It's the best balance between fun challenge and non-frustration and most gems. It's where all those 3 intersect. And you're missing, I think it's like 800 gems or something. Let me see if I have it. I don't think I do here. But I calculated it out, and essentially you get what? It's like 100 per. It's 100 per platinum. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1 at 200. So it's 600 gems. You're missing 600 gems each season. Oh, there can only be 1. All right, feels good. Feels really good. I'm gonna keep this one. Outstanding. Really cool. Is it Hugin? Yeah, yes it is. I think it's, but that's, I mean, I don't know. I think I can target the Hugin though, right? Okay, feels cool. I'm just gonna go for battle phase, why not? We'll swing into Hugin. We'll activate the effect. Okay, we're gonna go main phase 2 here. We're gonna go Harpy's Feather Duster. Very cool. Oh, Judgment. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I hate Runic too. They're absolutely the worst. And I can't get the fusion to negate their fusion, so I guess I'm just gonna go for an end phase here. Luckily, he can't destroy this with spell and trap effects, and I can technically protect it with the Vitra I have in the graveyard, if this is a thing. But he's gonna be able to draw 2 cards here, if that's a quick play spell. If not, then we win. All right. Oh my god. Oh my god. No keys, Sag. Ah! Here, we can put on the keys while we wait. Absolutely insane. Yeah, battle phase skipped is such an unusual drawback. It's not even part of their main strategy. I'm saying, like, it doesn't hurt them at all. And the decks that would want to play a runic engine, it doesn't hurt them either. It's actually, like, just completely and utterly criminal. This guy has the gall to play the totally awesome mate. Absolute vitriol. Insane. Yeah. I think the key is I think the deck that would be fine if the one fusion monster was gone that protected them from direct searches. Yes. Actually, Hugin is so powerful that it is concerning. It is concerning on how much value they get from Hugin. Because that also means that you invalidate every single spell and trap removal that's not specifically evenly matched in Cosmic Cyclone. But however, like, I made this joke the other day that was like, you know, Master Duel, you're playing 3 games. You're playing Master Duel, the Maxi minigame, and you're playing Runic and Florida Reese. Because they operate on different levels than other decks do. They just don't follow the same rules that other decks would follow. And it's, like, I can't even call by the grave a Hugin here, by the way. Like, can you imagine? Actually absurd. It cannot attack this turn. Amazing. He's just gonna mill me out. Awesome. Oh, wow. Gonna draw a few, and then, by the way, he can activate in my turn. Yeah, literally every card there specials is the field spell search. They play 3-tip. It's 3-tip. They have Hugin as well. That's every single card can do it, and then also Terraforming and then 3 of the Fountain. So at worst they have 7 copies. At best they have, like, I don't know. I think I need to thin out my deck to search for some cards. It was a good run, you know. I'm saying, look at this. The absolute disrespect. Mystical Elf. At least we have one in the graveyard still, so we were able to use it effectively. Now this is where Exodia Mystical Elf would come in handy. Agreed. I guess we'll add Zora. And really, there's nothing we can do here. So Runic is Eldlik 2.0. It's worse than Eldlik. It's actually just 7 times worse than Eldlik because it plays on your opponent's turn in ways that you can't really even account for it. The only cool thing about this guy's deck is the frog. In fact, we're over. 3 Secret Village and 1 Terra. Oh, let's go. Actually, kinda. If we're really looking to make this deck like insane, we're doing 3 Secret Village, 1 Terra. Not a bad option. Not a bad option. At TCG, one of my counters was Set Rotation, but it's banned here. Set Rotation? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Set Rotation is banned. It probably should be in a best of 1 area, but no. I do think that there are counters to Runic, and Runic is a very interesting deck type. I like Runic in terms of its design. It's a deck that operates off of incremental advantage. It's also really interesting that they skipped the battle phase, which is obviously not needed anymore. They're really, really powerful, like insane. You can splash them in pretty much any deck, which is interesting. They're somewhat pseudo-generic. But it just feels so unfun to play against. Like, it is moving Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! As a design into more of a generically skill-based game, like things like the Bestials and things like the Runics and things like the Sprites and the Tearlaments are very, very skill-intensive. Very, very skill-intensive. But the problem is that they're unfun to play against. Like, I don't know. Like 90% of decks are unfun against it, right? Yeah, Fountain, Hugin, Searcher, and the Jer Recycler aren't hard once per turn, so it's stupid. The Fountain not being hard once per turn is busted. At the very least, right? I don't know. I know it's Mystical Elf Challenge, but I think Gemini Elf would be better. Higher attack and the Earth attribute makes overlaying into XYZ Renola possible with the main deck Renola. Actually, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like, if you were to run this engine, like, without Mystical Elf, Gemini Elf, it would still outclass Mystical Elf as a 1900 beater. Plus, it is OG Mommy, so that's true. That is true. That is true. Big true. Yeah, why isn't Mass Change 2 played anymore? I actually wasn't mine. It's played in certain decks. I saw it in like Shadal decks. Some Shadal decks will play it because Dark Law is insane. Fundamentals of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's never fun. True. True. Yeah, wait, Gemini Elf is an SR? Actually, I knew that. It's part of the legacy tickets, isn't it? But yeah, Mass Change 2 is teched in to other decks, and I think the reason why it's not played more is just like the amount of advantage that you get from it isn't as much as if you were just playing heroes. So, like, Mass Change 2 is good if you're playing a lot of darks that you know for sure you'll be getting, like, this person's like, can you hear that honking? The guy's going crazy. Does he know I'm streaming? I'm streaming. But yeah, it's like, if you play a lot of like low-level dark monsters under Dark Law's levels, then it's good. But if your deck doesn't focus around levels that much, or doesn't really focus around having lower-level dark monsters in the field, then it's not that good. And on top of that, you do have to discard a card with Mass Change 2, so you can only really get advantage of that if you are playing a deck that does want its stuff in the graveyard. So some decks can play it natively, but not a lot of decks can play it that would like to play. Like, for example, we technically can play it in this deck with Crowley, but it's not that good. Oh, and also certain decks just kind of lock you out of non-archetypal stuff. I dare players to say this card game is comprehensible for ages 7. I think there is a certain level of player that of a young blood that could comprehend Yu-Gi-Oh, but this game is not for children. The rules are just way too crazy. The interactions are way too crazy. Like, to be fair, the floor is really low to learn the game. Like, if you want to just play the game and get to know it, it's kind of fun to know. But to actually like say at like tournament level, like even local levels, it's busted. Locals even are crazy for children. It's nuts. This is a grown-ass man game. Or woman. This morning, OCG revealed a new card. It's Power Crept Call of the Haunted. I saw a bunch of shenanigans about that, which is crazy. If 10-year-olds can be Grandmaster in chess, I'll believe anything. I actually, no, you know what? I revoked my statement. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Oh, yeah, so the big thing with this game, and I'll let you guys in on a little secret. So the reason why, so I think my match history shows it. Last year, I stopped at plat, and plat. My diamond rank is officially gone off my leaderboard, which is fine. But why I've officially stopped at plat, and technically plat 1 is the best rank to go into, is specifically because of this. So in the game after the season, so how it works, you'll get the rest of these gems like from whenever you start. So the ranked gold, like you start gold 5, you'll obtain the rest of these gems behind you when you start the season. However, the highest rank that you should get to min-max your gems is Platinum 1. 100 gems at Platinum 1. If you get to Diamond, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 400. You get 600 gems extra. So you're paying 600 gems to have a good time, not deal with BS, and be able to play decks that are somewhat fun, but also can be pretty challenging. Like, Platinum is very frustrating right now, especially because there's a lot of good players in Platinum. But you'll still, on average, see more deck variety you'll see more deck variety than you would if you were in Platinum, right? You'll see less variety, like you'll still get a lot of decks that are like, you know, not fun to play against, but you'll still get a lot. And then for gold you'll see a ton. Gold's the fun area. This is the fun zone. Like you got the beginner zone, you have like a really like more of the fun zone. You'll see a lot of crazy stuff down here. You can pretty much run anything down here. And then gold's the fun zone, where like you'll get good decks, you'll get bad decks, you get terrible decks, you'll get the best player you've ever seen. And then right in the middle, you can just play whatever you want. It's great. But then Plat comes along, you have to play a deck that's at least Magistus level or better, I would say. What's the bare minimum Plat deck? Hero or better? If you can beat Hero, you can beat Plat? No. What's the bare minimum? Paleo Frogs? Paleo Frogs are like a decent deck that's like that you can get to Diamond with, maybe. Like any deck that you could feel that could get to Diamond is a deck that could live in Plat. But Diamond is, unfortunately, especially at the moment, starting to become reserved only for decks that are runic. Right? Thunder Dragons, Dragon Mage or Thunder Dragon, Dark Magician or better. Actually, those are all great suggestions, all with the D's too. Dragon Mage, Thunder Dragons, or Dark Magicians or better, or Blue Eyes or better, are platinum level decks. Those are decks that in theory are good enough to where they can get to plat very easily, but they can also maybe grind into diamond and maybe even then diamond 1. But they're definitely plat decks. Diamond is like just runic. It's just Floowandereeze. It's just Sword Soul. It's just Despia. And if you don't, at least in the meta, these top ranks in theory should be that way. In a competitive time frame, then like in a competitive game, your top of the cream of the crop should always be at their your highest ranks, right? And then maybe some jank if the person's feeling lucky. So in theory, the game is working as intended. The best decks are at the top, and then the rest of the decks follow. Big problem though, when your decks are unfun to play against, especially in a best of 1 format, it doesn't make the competitive integrity of your ladder climb any good. It just kind of makes it frustrating, especially for players that want to play decks that maybe are like Dark Magician or Blue Eyes. But even if I'm playing Dark Magician or Blue Eyes or even Dragon Maids, and I'm like, okay, I run into Runic or Despia or Branded, I'm probably going to lose on average, which sucks, right? It just feels really frustrating that you can't really do a whole lot against certain matchups. So then you tech out your deck, but then because it's an online ladder and because it's best of ones, you'll run into something that your tech doesn't do anything against. And you're like, oh well. Right? And then on top of that, like outside of that, that's just online ladders. That's just online ladders, nothing big. One of the biggest concerns that I have with Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel in terms of its like ranked ladder system is the fact that it is like despite the fact that the best decks will always be the top, right? The best of 1 system is not really good for deck building potentials, which is that, right? And the 2 out of 3, to be fair, probably wouldn't maintain the connection the whole time. I think for some people it wouldn't. I think, but over often the side decking changes like how you would play the game. But the biggest problem is that they don't balance around that, right? Like my biggest problem with the rank is that they should be able to balance around best of 1s better. And they've done an okay job at it, but there's sometimes that you just don't win. It's kind of like Smash 4 versus Smash Melee. People like to say that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the Melee of card games, and it's not true. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the Smash 4 of card games. And it may be old and back in the day, I would say that like Edison or even like GOAT format, older historical formats feel like Melee. Like you can play Donkey Kong as Green Ranger against a Fox, or you can play a Bowser against a Fox, or a Samus against a Fox, like some of the lower tier characters, and win because they have tools in their kit to beat Fox, right? They have a good advantage. Even though they'll lose 70% of the time, that 30% is very doable, especially at the high level. Like Green Ranger freaking destroys, right? Absolutely destroys. It's super fun because like you can be someone who plays a lower tier character. Yoshi, by the way, like with Amsa, right? Amsa is incredible at top rank, but Yoshi doesn't have a winning matchup against most of the characters, Marth, etc. But the things he can do with that character are insane. You know, like what does Pichu do against Marth? But a cracked Pichu will beat a bad Marth. But in Yu-Gi-Oh, It's not really the case. It's more like Smash 4, where on average the better player will always win. But you know, if in Smash 4, if you were around that time, you know, Bayonetta, like Diddy Kong, and certain high tier characters, if you played against another character on the lower ranks, you just lost. Like, what's Dr. Mario going to do against Bayonetta? Nothing, right? Like what is? I'm trying to think of a low tier character in Smash 4. What is Donkey Kong gonna do against Diddy Kong? Nothing really. Like yeah, Tweak had stuff, but that's not really the point, right? Technically, the one reason why MKLeo was so sick is because he played characters that were like, you know, had a like mid-range decent enough chance, but they just like he even then still kind of lost other characters. Anyways, the point and the reason why is because Melee, inside of the basic fundamentals of the game and how the game is designed, and unintentionally designed, has tools and positioning options available to it that allow you to outmaneuver, outsmart, and outplay your opponent. Meanwhile, in Smash 4, you don't have that. You have characters with kits and set balances and set changes that just make certain characters definitively better regardless of who you are. Now, on average, like I said, the better player should win. But sometimes, and most often not, you can queue up like a Dr. Mario against a Bayonetta. Dr. Mario is not winning that. Like 8 times out of 10. So Yu-Gi-Oh is like that. And Master Duel specifically is like that. You know? But there's there. Yeah, they could have a best 2 out of 3 as an option for rank. I think that they could have both, but like quick game and then, you know, full set, which is there. There's some truth to that. Like Pokemon Scarlet tournaments are open sheets and then bring some more chessboard into it. Also fair. Yeah, possibly with Starving Venom at 1, but the player's incompetence will not activate. What if we can see both players' decks before we play and side deck from there? It's like MOBA. Oh, like you can see the team and try to counter the team. Yeah, people have thought about that, especially inside of like the other dueling simulators. But the problem that usually comes into is kind of highlights why it's also worse. Like Daniel kind of sees that too, I think, is that what you end up seeing whenever you have that is that it's just the same thing as you can just tech out your cards beforehand and just win immediately, right? Which is frustrating. Even more frustrating is that someone does that to you. Like, let's say, for example, they don't normally play D barrier in their deck, but let's say you're playing a fusion deck, and then they side in D barrier, and now they go first, and now they just win the die roll because they see you're playing a fusion deck. They're playing now D barrier, but your fusion based deck is just gonna lose to that, regardless if you like see that they put in a fusion barrier into the deck. You can't do much against it because your strategy revolves around it, pretty much regardless. Like pick and ban system wouldn't necessarily work there either. But as a God card player, I kind of disagree. Again, like it's kind of like a thing. Like we won a pretty fair amount of games with our Magical Magistus deck. All right, and this deck is not very good at all. But it does have some winning matchups and has some things to it that we can actually like perform to win. But we'll always lose to Runic. Like, pretty much always lose to Runic. We'll pretty much always lose to Fluandrees. We should always lose to Branded, even though it has a good matchup against Branded. And we should always lose against Sword Soul, despite the fact that it might have a good standard against Sword Soul. The thing is that we are designed inherently to lose to those better decks, which kind of sucks. So, it's that. Anyways, to kind of wrap up a little bit on the Mystical Magistus deck, this thing is a surprising powerhouse. I think that Mystical Elf is really cool. I like the fact that the normal engine with Unexpected Die and Rescue Rabbit work for this strategy to get out your XYZ monsters, or even then the big bag boss monster. This guy's animation, really cool. I like this deck a lot. Has a ton of potential. I think obviously someone said Gemini Elf earlier too, and I completely agree. It would work out pretty well. It's like an actual combo piece. It works in the deck. Mystical Elf might not have support like the other members of Yugi's classic deck, for whatever reason that might be. But it's got a place in Magistus, and that's good enough. Absolutely good enough. But what's going on, Gamer Sandy? Hello. Good to see you. We didn't see any game against hero. Also true. The hero deck we didn't see hero decks right here, which is crazy. Sometimes that's enough. That's fair. Like, yeah, waiting out those decks are kind of important, I would say. Beaver Warrior support, I'm super down. Beaver Warrior almost made the season 2 of the Wheeled Normal Monsters. It'll definitely be on season 3. I think for season 3, I actually have like a lot of the wheel monsters already kind of like listened out. But like, I don't know. Justice for Yugi's monsters, I'm saying, where is the mystical elf support? You know? Like, where is the mystical elf archetype where I can add a normal spellcaster card from my deck to my hand? Or I can retrain, right? Yeah, the retrain became blue eye support. It's jank. Oh, maintenance. Maintenance? Did we know why there's maintenance there? Is it adding new cards into the shop? That maintenance announcement's new. I'm pretty sure. Almost certain. Should be the next pack? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Do we know what's in the next pack already? Did we get a date? We didn't get a data link on that, right? They stopped the leaks apparently. New ban list? New ban list. That's what it is. That's also what it is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You can check the notifications, I think, right? So maintenance. Shop items updated. Issues, notifications, ban list, issue with card effects applied to Shari Red. Interesting. Only have an issue in PvE duels. That's fun. I don't really read these enough to know what's going on. Here we go. January 10th. So yeah. Okay, so it's the ban list plus we get some new stuff in the shop. Yeah, that's right. Block Dragon to limited, whatever. That's fine. All these things I don't actually have a problem with. Semi-limited, cool. Cardomized semi-limited, that card needs to be banned. I hate that card so much. Anyways. All right, guys. I'm going to end the stream there. I think it's been a lot of fun. I had actually a pretty good time. You know, today was supposed to be the Yu-Gi-Oh! Nuzlocke, and instead we did the Wheel Normal Monsters redo with the Mystical Elf. For those of you guys who don't know, there is going to be a new series on the channel. It's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Nuzlocke. The TLDR, the essentials of it, is that we are going to be playing the game from bottom to top, trying to get all the way to Diamond this time, Diamond 5, at least. And we can only play one deck until we lose. Each and every time that we lose, we have to disenchant, we have to dust, we have to get rid of every single card in our deck. Now there's some stipulations. If we play, let's say, 2 copies of something like Forbidden Chalice and we lose, we still have 1 copy we can use in a future deck. Or, let's say we have Stratos in our deck, we only play 1 copy. Well, if we lose, then we can play 2 copies somewhere else. That's the idea. Every single we have to keep on going until we lose. And when we lose, because we will lose, we have to get rid of every single card regardless of what it is. So the strategy will have to be determined by which cards we craft. Do we want to go for super expensive staples? Probably not. That's gonna be kind of inefficient. We want to get some more decks there, you know? Big stuff. But we'll see. Die in the game, die in real life? Here's hoping. No, I'm just joking. No. But yeah, thank you so much for joining the stream, guys. Arms Like Wild Heart, of course. Thank you for everyone for hanging out and being here. I do really appreciate you guys, all the love and support. I mean, even through ranting about Yu-Gi tubing and the Yu-Gi-Oh algorithm and etc. Always been a pleasure. Thank you. Brandon J as well. Oxy. I think it's Decklock. That's actually a good name for it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It's been a good time. The runic stuff sucks, and it's going to happen. But I'm glad that we were able to redo the Mystical Elf. I'm glad we were able to make it really fun, really enjoyable. I found a new deck that I like, which is neat. Anyways, if it's late for you guys, then get some sleep and have a good rest of your night. If not, then have a good rest of your night or good morning, depending on where you are. Eat something good. Take care of yourself first and foremost. And yeah, thanks again, I really appreciate you guys coming in. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be on the channel if you're not already. Most of you guys already are. All that algorithm stuff. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll talk to you guys later. I am going to go and get maybe some food and maybe some sleep after that. But hope you guys have a great rest of your night. See you later, guys. Bye-bye. Peace out.